will receive results for the National Senior Certificate today after achieving an overall pass rate of 88%. More than 900,000 full and part-time candidates wrote the exam last year, making it the highest number in the country's history. KwaZulu-Natal was the top-performing province with a pass rate of 90.6%, while Gauteng achieved an 89.6% overall pass rate. Basic Education Minister Sivuyo Kwagube made the announcement last night.
In 2025, over 656,000 learners passed the National Senior Certificates. The figure carries the effort of every teacher, every learner, families in every corner of our country.
And some matriculants spoke to EWN about their expectations ahead of the release of the results.
I'm feeling really anxious to see my results and to see what I got, because I really hope that I got what I worked for.
So I'm really nervous to get my marks back. The suspense has really been killing me this holiday.
I am feeling extremely confident about my results, and I hope I don't regret saying that.
I'm very excited for my results. I'm excited to see what this next chapter holds and excited to experience university.
Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya is among witnesses expected to testify before the Madlanga Commission this year. The commission into allegations of corruption within the criminal justice system will resume its public hearings at the end of the month and is expected to conclude its business in April. The inquiry was set up following damning allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi in July last year. Oren Singh reports.
Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michael says the commission is set to pick up where they left off in December.
Hearing evidence from persons who have been implicated in the serious allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and many other witnesses who corroborated or substantiated those allegations last year.
The likes of suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya, Head of Organised Crime Richard Shibiri, and KZN Hawks Head Lesetja Senona are all expected to testify during Phase 2.
Dozens of witnesses are due to appear before the Commission over the next few months.
Public hearings will resume at the Bridget Mbandla Justice College in Pretoria on the 26th of January. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
And the U.S. House of Representatives has passed legislation to extend AGOA in a sign that strengthens economic ties with the U.S. and sub-Saharan African countries. The Africa Growth and Opportunity Act allows duty-free access to the U.S. market for goods from the continent. This arrangement, which South Africa has also benefited from, has been extended by another 3 years and is expected to end in December of 2028. This will allow countries to claw back duties paid to export duties to the U.S. since the previous act ended almost 4 months ago. U.S. Congresswoman Terry Sowell made the announcement of the extension before the House of Representatives.
The bill we are considering today would extend AGOA for 3 years and will send a clear message to the African continent that we are committed to strengthening our shared prosperity. The fact that the program ended in September 25 has been a serious source of concern for many. A clean 3-year reauthorization is preferable because businesses require predictability and certainty.
Gold is trading at $4,616.26 an ounce. The rand is at 16.39 to the dollar, 22.07 to the pound, 19.13 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.34 a barrel.
Traffic lights out of order in Marlborough at Marlborough Drive and the M1 North. There's also traffic lights not working in Woodmead at Woodmead Drive and Old Pretoria Road, as well as in Bramley at Colleton Scott.
And in your sport, Liverpool beat Barnsley 4-1. They'll play Brighton in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Real Madrid have parted ways with coach Xabi Alonso, replacing him with Alvaro Arbeloa. Pretoria Capitals beat my Cape Town to go top of the SA20 table. And at the Dakar, South Africans dominated Stage 8, making it a South African 1-2. The result sees Lataghan and Cummins up to third overall.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 14 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria 15 and 26. Vereeniging 16 and 25. Degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Matric class of 2025 will receive results for the National Senior Certificate today after achieving an overall pass rate of 88%.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Halala, 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 class of 2025. Hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man. You know, sometimes you just need a bit of good news. You just need a little moment to celebrate something, some win. A win that isn't just about the Springboks, hey? Or Bafana or the Proteas. A win that is significant for the future of the country. A win that says, for all the difficulties and struggles and pains, something is going right. Wasn't it George Benson who coined the words, I believe the children are our future? Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Tell you what, George Benson may have written it, but it took the legendary diva Whitney Houston to really sing it and ram it home. Well done to the class of Matric 2025. Well done. An overall pass rate of 88%, the highest we've achieved in the country so far. Yes, I know you'll tell me the real pass rate is probably about 54% if you think about the people that started 12 years ago and the many that have dropped out of the system along the way. But let's just take a pause and celebrate the class of 2025. Do you have a matriculant in your life? Do you want to send a shout out to a school, to a teacher, to a principal, to a nephew, to a son, to a daughter? Allah, Allah, class of 2025, Allah, Allah!
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. My name is indeed Bongani Bingwa. So definitely what we're doing throughout the show today is celebrating the class of 2025. I'd love your shout outs to any matriculant that is in your life, a niece, a daughter, a son, a nephew, a cousin, a brother, I don't care, a grandchild. Send us a shout out on 072 702 1702. And a shout out to all those who passed, who beat the odds. Yes, there'll be a big focus on the 11 distinctions and the 9 distinctions and the 7 distinctions. But there's something to be said about those kids who applied themselves, who perhaps didn't shoot the lights out, who won't be on the front pages of newspapers, who won't be on the radio or television or at the Minister's Awards or the Premier's Awards. But these are the kids who've understood very early on that the real success of life is working through your limitations and not accepting them and pushing yourself and doing well and not necessarily always getting the recognition, but getting the job done anyway, right? So a shout out to all those. On our menu today, we speak to the leader of Rise Mzansi, also Scopa Chair Songazo Zibi, who says, even though Elon Musk seems desperate to be allowed to operate here in South Africa, Songazo Zibi is arguing that not only would it be stupid to let him in, he says it would be a threat to our national security. That's quite a strong way to put it. Musk has made no bones about his desire to be allowed to operate in South Africa. Songazo Zibi says, hang on, we better be sure about who it is that we are allowing to operate. So that's our first interview. We'll speak to him about that. What are 110 countries around the world not getting right? Or at least getting, you're not getting right. Yeah, that is exactly what I mean, actually. What are they not getting right that we somehow are? Or is it about something else entirely? And then, of course, we'll speak to the CEO of Umalusi. We really had hoped to have the Minister of Basic Education, but a scheduling challenge made it impossible for us to speak to her. Nonetheless, we'll play you some clips from that incredible speech that she gave yesterday, celebrating the class of 2025. But we'll speak to the CEO of Umalusi. We'll also speak to the CEO of the IEB. And what's fantastic this year, typically the results aren't always released at the same time. You typically would get the IEB a little earlier and then the NSC a day or so later. But this is the 1 year where we've got them all together at the same time. And so we'll be sprinkling throughout the show conversations with some of the top performers in the country from the NSC stream as well as the IEB stream. And then just before 9, we're going to tell you about a tribute show. If you love the Eagles, that classic hit of theirs, Hotel California, we'll tell you about how that is going to be revived in Johannesburg.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
And of course, we are keeping up with news from around the world. We'll tell you about developments. We had a conversation yesterday around particularly the Venezuelan oil issue and the Trump administration. And exactly as we discussed yesterday, you may remember with Dr. Kingsley Makubela, the oil execs are saying, Soze, we are not doing it. We want certainty that whatever investment we plow into that country, our money is going to come back. And they understand very clearly that that's going to take perhaps not even years, maybe even decades. It will be long after Trump is out of the political scene. And it's just a gamble many of them are not willing to take. So that complicates that particular story a little. But perhaps more than anything, today we want to focus on the class of 2025. And so let's start with the Minister of Basic Education then, Siviwe Gwahobe, outlining particularly a conversation that many are still stuck on, the 30% mark issue. Remember that, the pass rate issue? Have a listen to the Minister clarifying the different criteria used to get to the National Senior Certificate qualification and clarifying the rationale between 30% and 40% and whom it really applies to.
There are 3 different qualifications: a diploma, a bachelor's pass, a diploma pass, and an ordinary NSC certificate. Well, last year, 800,000 learners wrote NSC exams. Only less than 200 qualified with the minimum requirement, which is the NSC. So the bachelor's is the highest diploma, and then the NSC requirement. Now, what does the NSC say? It says that you can pass certain subjects with 40% and some with 30%. Why was this allowed to happen? It was allowed to happen because not every single learner in our schooling system is somebody that's going to go on and pursue a medical degree. Somebody said to me on Twitter this afternoon, why would you want a surgeon operating on you who got 30%? It's a myth, and we need to stop making this a populist discussion.
So essentially what she's arguing there is what often happens is the system almost bottlenecks at the matric level. So however it is that you got through the lower grades, particularly, let's say, at an under-resourced school, perhaps not everyone is paying attention. Really, when it comes to the National Senior Certificate, the Matric exam, there's nowhere to hide, right? If your teachers and your school has allowed you to sort of go up the ranks and you don't fully necessarily grasp all the material, that's the whole point of having a standardized exam that every school writes without any involvement or direction from teachers perhaps who already have a relationship with you. That's the whole point, right? And she's saying, look, we understand that not everyone wants to be a brain surgeon. Not everyone is academically gifted or talented, but we also don't want kids who could otherwise get some basic qualification that allows them to then go learn a trade where they will not be required to follow an academic type of study or stream or learning, but they've got something that says they've gone through the basic education system. And she says, of the 3 qualifications that are available for you to exit the schooling system, out of the 800,000 who wrote last year, less than 200 got the very bottom requirements. And so this idea that we're using that 200 to paint the nearly million candidates that wrote is a complete misnomer, is her argument. She goes on to call out her former boss, Musimaimane, you'll remember, of course, as the former leader of the DA, now leading BOSA, Build One South Africa, that political party. He has been making quite an issue around this 30% pass issue, and he's been calling for the scrapping of it. But the Basic Education Minister, Siviwe Gwahobe, saying this is just a populist argument.
Now, let's go back to the vote in Parliament. The reason why this vote was important to vote against is, number one, the leader of BOSA, Dr. Maimane, knows that I'm currently in the process. We've got an independent panel of experts who have been appointed to be able to look at our assessment criteria in South Africa from grade R to grade 12. His misunderstanding of how education systems is the problem, because seemingly fidgeting with the matric pass rate at the end of a 12, 13-year schooling career is not going to lift the quality of education. The foundations of learning are important. That's why our focus has been ECD strengthening the foundations of learning, because then you don't have to fiddle with things and tinkering around the edges. If you don't deal with the root causes Clement, are clear. We know that 8 out of 10 children in South Africa can't read for meaning. That's a literacy crisis. Those children are not going to go on to take maths and science and other gateway subjects if we don't get the basics right.
Are you convinced by her argument? She says, look, there is a process underway that is looking at the system in its entirety. It's a little too late to start panicking and pressing buttons at the matric level or even the grade 11 level. We've got to make sure that even at the very, very bottom, the grade 3s, the grade 2s, the grade 1s, those kids are able to read for meaning, that the numeracy levels are where they ought to be, and we've got to build and improve the system all the way to the top. Do you know how many kids drop out of the schooling system because they don't have the support that is required? They don't have the extra lessons that they could be taken to. They don't have parents who are able to sit with them and do the homework and check on whether or not they are reading for meaning, whether they can read at all.
Sometimes
so many
material as well.
So many kids don't even know how to read until they're at school, whereas in many of these private schools, the expectation is that by the time the kid comes to grade R, they've got some basic grasp of the ability to read, right? And so many of them drop out because they're just simply discouraged. They think they don't have the aptitude to continue because they fail and they fail and they fail and they fail. And as they fail, the system doesn't know how to correct. Are you convinced? Give us a call on 011 883 0702. We'll take your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
I'm not alone, of course, as always. I've got a team of colleagues behind the scenes. We've got producers Rofiwa and Mapelile taking your calls on 011 883 0702. Palisa is here to control the desk and start the clocks. We are, of course, continuing with the Whiz quiz. 10,000 Rand up for grabs in the first hour of the show. We've also got What's the Question? That's back. And the idea, of course, as always, is that if you hear something on the show, send us an answer. We'll give you $1,000 for that if we select your answer. And then somebody will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. You can send us an answer on 072 702 1702 based on what you hear on the show. Colleagues Karabo and Moteo are in the studio with me. Gosh, day 2, and I'm already messing up your name, hey? Moteo. Question for you two. How do you do it all? I've been thinking about this time of the year. So many of us are setting New Year's resolutions. And even if you don't call them resolutions, because, you know, not everybody sets a resolution at the start of the year, maybe you call them goals.
Yes.
Right? It is a moment of reflection. Come on. Right? There are things you know you could have done last year, you didn't do for whatever reason. And maybe this is the year you finally get to do them. There are things you've been postponing, procrastinating on, and now you think, actually reset. New year, new me. Whether it's health, whether it's wealth, or general well-being, right? Including mental health. How do you do it all? How do you prioritize which areas to focus on in a particular year? Karabo, how do you do it all?
Gee, you gotta have to just do it, eh? You have no choice. But then your goals need to be realistic. So first is survival and then the rest. So with me, I bought gym clothes last year and I tried to do gym.
Yeah. And we've got one here, hey?
And we have one here. And it's a struggle, hey? So that is my ultimate goal. The rest, I kind of got it. You know, I've Yeah. So so the plan now is the fitness and the health is something that I need to work on.
Our dearly departed colleague, Eusebius Makaiser, used to say, he said he had a simple rule.
Yeah.
Just put on the gym clothes.
Oh.
He said his goal was to put on the gym clothes.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to go to gym. He said, I would put on the gym clothes. And he says it's very difficult to not go to gym. So his goal wasn't, I'm going to gym today.
Okay.
His goal was, I'm putting on the gym clothes today. And he used to then argue that once they were on, it was very difficult to not go.
Fair enough. I think that's
the thing.
Yeah, wake up, just put on your gym clothes.
Put on your gym clothes.
Yeah, forget it. Okay, 100%.
Mateo, how do you do it all?
I think it's about, we're never really satisfied as humans, right? So it's about refining or being better than you were last year, and setting new goals if you have.
I get that, but you're a husband, you're a father, you are, of course, on this business show.
Yeah.
You do corporate gigs. You've got your side hustles.
Thank you, Bongani.
You've got all you do wear all these hats.
Yes.
Right? Somebody was asking me the other day, they said, man, you like to put Mateo under pressure. You just ask him these questions. I'm like, because he can answer them. Right? What were we talking about? The Sovereign Wealth Fund yesterday, out of the blue.
I don't sleep.
No preparation, no rehearsal, and the answers just come out. How do you do it all?
I think it's about managing your time well. That's how at least I get through my goals. So one thing I'm focusing on this year is writing down the things I want to do. Because sometimes you have a great idea about how you want to do something and it just plays in your mind and you forget about it. But if you write it down and keep ticking through the list to say, okay, this is what you need to do to get through to the other goal. So for me, it's mostly not journaling, but just writing things down that I need.
Skryform, eh?
Yeah.
Skryform.
The old-fashioned way.
How do you do it all? Let us know. We'll tell you why we're asking that question coming up shortly.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Speaking of doing it all, 22 after 6, you've got a question of your own, Mateo?
Yeah, I want to know from you and the 702 landers this morning, have you negotiated for a better interest rate when making a big purchase, like a car or house? And what type of factors did you use? The fact that you have a good credit score or the fact that you're comparing them to a competitor and they should give you a better rate?
I just tell them I'll go somewhere else.
Threats.
Make me an offer I can't refuse.
And that's worked for you.
Sometimes.
I guess I'll do the same, eh? If I'm not satisfied, I'll just threaten them that
You bring a better offer.
We've got options, Mateo.
Yeah.
We've got options. It's 2026.
Big names, eh?
702.
Weather.
23 after 6, the conditions you can expect in Gauteng. A partly cloudy day in store for the province. Isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures peaking a little lower today. Joburg 25, Pretoria 26. Vereeniging also 25. Bloemfontein peaks at 34. Gqeberha and East London 27 degrees. Cape Town 29.
EWN Traffic.
Let's catch up with the roads. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Karabo, let's have a first look at those roads. What are we seeing?
Well, things looking really good at this stage. Bongs, no accidents or major delays have been reported on our highways. So at this stage, just look out for those faulty traffic lights in four ways, Witkoppen and Leslie. Best believe they will cause delays as the morning progresses, so please allow for extra traveling time. Also, traffic lights not working in Polshof at Witkoppen and Main. There's also traffic lights out of order in Marlborough at Marlborough Drive and the M1 South. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital, carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like.
Not your business.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing two generations together. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, good morning, Bongani and the team. Sam here from Soweto. Yeah, these kids are amazing. Well done to the class of 2025. The kids are so amazing. This generation, you can even hear the confidence when they speak. in front of the media when they talk. These kids, they are so amazing. We are proud of you guys. Thank you very much. Allah, Allah.
Hey, Bongs. Good morning. Good morning. Joe in Bronx. We are delighted. My brother's daughter passed Ekangala School of Mining engineer in the waiting.
Yo, Brabi. Shout out to you, man, for coming up with that one. Those who made it against all odds whatsoever, my man. Thank you for coming up with that one. That's very, encouraging. Mr. Table Two Tone from Blog VV out in Soshanguve East, over and out.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
It's the over and out for me.
He must be sick though, because usually he screams that over and out.
You know, over and out. Right, things you need to know at this hour. Listen to this. A Nobel Prize winner is going to be walking into the White House this week. And no, it's not Donald Trump, although he'd like to be. Venezuela's most defiant opposition voice, Maria Corina Machado, is on her way to meet Donald Trump. This, of course, following that... What do we call it? It's not quite an invasion of Venezuela because they really just came in to extract and kidnap Nicolas Maduro. They didn't really sort of put boots on the ground to stay there permanently. But nonetheless, there's going to be some conversations. And one of the ideas she's flirting with is the idea of sharing her Nobel Peace Prize with Donald Trump, who is so desperate to be awarded. I'll play you a clip. It really sounds the most comical thing. This guy's literally begging for a Nobel Prize. In the meantime, down under, Australia locking the door, Silicon Valley rattling the handle. Since Canberra banned under-16s from social media, Meta says it's wiped out more than 500,000 young users off their platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. So that seems to be now gaining some momentum in Australia. Now, have you ever been delayed at an airport? What's the longest you have been delayed at an airport, either because the plane was late or some incident happened and you just sat there for hours and hours and hours, particularly if you were stranded overseas? Listen to this. In Finland, travelers have been stranded in the country's far north after temperatures plunged to minus 35 degrees, cold enough to cripple fuel lines and turn runways into ice traps. And so travelers are stranded in airports. Adam Gilchrist is going to tell us more on that story because it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think they're predicting temperatures could drop as low as minus 39 degrees. Can you imagine? Born on this day, the woman who changed the face of television, right? Shonda Rimes turns yet another year older. The writer behind Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, Bridgerton, shows that didn't just entertain, they rearranged power, visibility, and voices on television. And I want to tell you how she does it all.
702.
The newspapers.
Sviso Zulu, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani.
How do you do it all?
I read the newspapers.
What's in the papers today?
Taking a look at the big international story that's making headlines is Iran. It's been ongoing over the past weeks or so. So the Wall Street Journal is taking an angle about a meeting that US President Donald Trump is expected to have with his administration. So he's not necessarily going to make any decisions today. He's just trying to see the lay of the land. Of course, a few days ago, he did threaten military action in Iran. So context, Iran, there's protests there. The country is plunged into some protests, which was sparked by merchants who were complaining about the economic dip in the country, which have morphed into complaining about the theocratic system of the country. So Donald Trump subsequently threatened military action, which the Iranian regime said they will retaliate if anything of sorts happen. So now he's going to meet with his administration to basically see how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that could so easily backfire because it's like South Africa, right? We can go at our government, we can go at our president, but don't come for him.
Yes.
If you are not from here.
Yes.
Right? So if he intervenes, That's the quickest way to turn those protesters into supporters for the regime. There's a really, really thoughtful piece in the Business Day today, and it's about the Bradley effect. And this is about an African-American guy who was running for mayor of Los Angeles. He was sort of the candidate that everybody said they would come out and vote for. Come election day, he had a really poor showing. And it's all about whether or not voters are honest with pollsters. And are you one of those voters who says one thing publicly and does something else privately when you are in that booth? And it's all to do with whether or not, because of the ANC failures in Johannesburg, many of the people who will say they'll never vote for the DA might really consider Helen Zille for mayor of Johannesburg, even if they won't admit so publicly. It's a really, really thoughtful piece. It's in the Business Day today.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo Kharipa, the man who does it all. Let's get straight into business news. You want to know, do you just accept what you are given in terms of interest rates, or do you shop for a bargain, I suppose? What prompts the question?
You definitely drive a hard bargain, I can hear, Bongani. The South African Reserve Bank is assessing the relevance of the prime lending rate. The prime lending rate, of course, is basically a marked up version of the repo rate that banks use as a starting point to calculate your interest rates for specific purchases, whether it's a loan, a car, or a home. Now, after every interest rate announcement by the South African Reserve Bank, you'll always get a love letter from your bank telling you whether your interest rates have changed or how much more or less you'll be paying. That's the prime lending rate. Now, lenders typically price loans using the prime rate as a reference, with premiums or discounts to the measure depending on the cost of funding, the risk appetite you have as a client, and your credit worthiness.
So how would it work if there was no prime lending rate?
So it would be closer to the repo rate, which is at 6.25%, a little lower.
Better for us,
But
then.
they still have to work out how that would affect banks in terms of profitability, because there is something called interest revenue, which banks quite enjoy because, of course, prime lending rate is very, very high.
They don't have those nice buildings,
for no reason.
Hey?
Yeah,
They
so the
offer you
sub,
those cappuccinos.
the sub is having a look at that. No timelines yet, but it's very, very interesting.
Quite revolutionary, this governor. Hey? Where's the rand?
16.41 against the US dollar this morning, slightly lower, 19 rand 12 cents against the euro and 22 rand 10 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,596 an ounce, or platinum at $2,329. Brent crude at $64.07 a barrel. More business after 7.
Continue with celebrations. Halala class of 2025. Halala. Svisa Zulu, right?
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. The Matric class of 2025 will receive results from the National Senior Certificate today after achieving an overall pass rate of 88%. More than 900,000 full and part-time candidates wrote the exam last year, making it the highest number of the country's history. KwaZulu-Natal was the top performing province with a pass rate of 90.6%, while Gauteng achieved an 89.6 overall pass rate. Some matriculants spoke to EWN ahead of their results release.
I'm feeling really anxious to see my results and to see what I got, because I really hope that I got what I worked for.
So I'm really nervous to get my marks back. The suspense has really been killing me this holiday.
I am feeling extremely confident about my results, and I hope I don't regret saying that.
I'm very excited for my results. I'm excited to see what this next chapter holds and excited to experience university.
Meanwhile, the Basic Education Department says only 34% of the class of 2025 wrote mathematics, with most choosing mathematical literacy. This is being described as a worrying sign, as mathematics is a key gateway subject for further study. Minister Sivuyo Kwagube is encouraged by the slight increase of enrollments for mathematics, accounting, physical science, and other technical subjects, calling it a turning tide.
We're encouraged by the enrollment increases in mathematics and other gateway subjects such as accounting and physical science and other technical subjects. However, we would like to see the performance matching that enrollment. So, in other words, the system is growing but not fast enough in the subjects that most powerfully shape access to further study in scarce skills and economic participation. And we as a department are dedicated to making sure that this improves and improves dramatically.
Limpopo emergency services are on high alert as some parts of the province have been flooded after heavy rains. Rivers are overflowing in Limpopo's Vembe district, trapping scores of people and leaving roads and bridges damaged. Mongezi Koko takes a look.
Continuous rainfall has made it difficult for officials to access some communities, with several areas completely surrounded by water. Authorities say damage assessments are still underway as roads and bridges remain closed. The South African Weather Service has issued orange level 6 and level 9 warnings for parts of the province with an increased risk to life in low-lying and flood-prone areas. Forecaster Amukela Nimkari.
Communities are urged they should also re-evaluate their outdoor activities and also follow instructions from local authorities.
The situation remains extremely dangerous, with potential for drownings, home or livestock to be swept away and conditions to worsen if rains continue. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
And US President Donald Trump has announced a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Trump has been mulling his options on Iran, which has been hit by more than 2 weeks of demonstrations that have defied a near-total internet blackout and lethal force. Sparked by economic grievances, the nationwide protests have grown into one of the biggest challenges yet to the theocratic system that has ruled Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution ousted the Shah. Iranian authorities have blamed foreign interference for stoking the unrest and staged their own nationwide counter-rallies. Hundreds of people have reportedly been killed in the protests. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 25 and 26.
Driving through Melrose, there's slow-moving traffic. This is on the M1 northbound between Athol, Oaklands and Corlett. There's also faulty traffic lights in Midrand at Olifantsfontein Road and the N1.
The top story this hour: the Matric class of 2025 will receive results for the National Senior Certificate today after achieving an overall pass rate of 88%.
There's a new way to experience all your favorites. Pulse Africa, the 24/7 fast channel, now live on primemediaplus.com and the Prime Media Plus app, bringing you the best of Prime Media around the clock. Watch the biggest moments from 7:02. It's non-stop entertainment and authentic African storytelling, all from Africa's leading media network. Pulse Africa, only on the primemediaplus.com and Prime Media Plus app.
63-year-old Almero knows all about saving with Outsurance.
We do save 417 Rand. That's about 5,000 Rand a year.
That's an awesome saving on Almero's 2021 Ford Ranger.
And there's an out bonus that you get if you don't claim for 3 years. I am really looking forward to it.
How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
In Africa, we say the chameleon looks in all directions before moving. At Plus 94 Research, we understand the importance of careful consideration. By analyzing comprehensive data and diverse perspectives, we help you make informed decisions that stand the test of time. Don't leap without looking. Move forward with insight and precision. Plus 94 Research, the science of decision making.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
I am 100% convinced this minister is phenomenal. The only way for us to deal with education is from an ECD level. Absolutely. And you know what? It'll only take 12 years to sort out the education crisis. If we can start at ECD level, that is the only way to fix things.
We're talking Matric results, but we're also asking you the question, how do you do it all? It comes because, of course, today is also the 56th birthday of the television mogul Shonda Rimes, who was born on this day in 1970. I want you to listen to this interview. Well, not in fact an interview. She was addressing some college students, some university graduation students, and she's speaking to them about how she does it all. And I think it's so applicable to even the class of 2025.
a single mother of 3 who constantly gets asked the question, how do you do it all? For once, I'm going to answer that question with 100% honesty here for you now. Shonda, how do you do it all? The answer is this: I don't. Whenever you see me somewhere succeeding in one area of my life, that almost certainly means I am failing in another area of my life. If I am killing it on a scandal script for work, I am probably missing bath and story time at home. If I'm at home sewing my kids' Halloween costumes, I'm probably blowing off a rewrite I was supposed to turn in. If I'm accepting a prestigious award, I'm missing my baby's first swim lesson. If I'm at my daughter's debut in her school musical, I am missing Sandra Oh's last scene ever being filmed at Grey's Anatomy. If I am succeeding at one, I am inevitably failing at the other. And yet, I want my daughters to see me and know me as a woman who works. I want that example set for them. I like how proud they are when they come to my offices and know that they come to Shonda Land. There is a land, and it is named after their mother. In their world, mothers run companies. In their world, mothers own Thursday nights. In their world, mothers work, and I am a better mother for it. The woman I am because I get to run Shonda Land, because I get to write all day, because I get to spend my days making things up. That woman is a better person and a better mother because that woman is happy. That woman is fulfilled. That woman is whole.
How do you do it all? It's that time of the year. Many of us are setting goals. Many of us are planning out what the rest of the year looks like, whether that's health or wellness or just general well-being. And in that clip, she argues that when she's doing well in one area, there's probably another that perhaps isn't faring so well, and that's okay. It's ultimately the totality of you being able to show up where you are most needed at a particular time. Let's talk about that.
Good morning, team. How do you do it all? This is how I do it all. Vukuzenzele. Literally, I just get up and I do it. Vukuzenzele.
EWN Sport.
What is the translation of that?
You get up, Vukuzenzele, get up and do it yourself.
Okay.
You get up and do it. You just get on with it.
Right.
Right? You
Right.
just get on with it. Podcaster, sports broadcaster,
Yeah.
mental health expert, advocate.
Yeah. Can't be
How
an
do you
expert.
do it all?
So I think it's been 30 years of I've only been a mom for almost 18, but it's been, I think, 18 years of learning and learning that exactly what Shonda Rimes says. It's a give and take at all the time, and you will always not be giving 100% to everything all the time. All the balls are in the air. You've just got to decide at that point which one, if you drop it, won't smash into a million pieces, and which one needs to stay in the air. It's a great juggling act. But I think what's important for me, and I think she also highlighted it, is it's important for my kids to see not that I'm working, but that I'm enjoying what I do. And I get that I'm in a very privileged position because not everybody gets to do what they want. I know a lot of people listening do the job they do because they have to, because they have no choice. But it's very important. That's also a lesson for your kids, right? That you had to do the job because there was sacrifice to be made. And there have been numerous times where I've said to my kids over the years, I could quit. And then at various times they've said to me, but then you won't be doing what you love. And you're a woman showing other women that they can do it in a men's game. And for them, that has been a very important example. That has been the very important lesson for them.
And I think one of the things for me that's a takeout in all of this, and I was applying it to the class of 2025 and children in general, we obviously celebrate the 11 and the 9 and the 10 distinctions as we should.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes it's just also celebrating the fact that you tell your kids, just try.
Yeah.
Just try. Just keep going, keep learning, keep overcoming. You won't not everyone is going to get the merit award. Not everyone is going to get the recognition and the lights, but just keep going.
So I think it's a very tough time of year, and I could speak about it for ages, but I think it's a lot of pressure on the kids that didn't, and they need to realize that there are other avenues. I will proudly say I didn't get a university entrance. I had to go the long way around to get it. I eventually got my degree, but actually my degree never got me to where I am now.
Yeah.
A student job working long hours, being willing to work on weekends, overtime, to get to where I am, to get the experience. That's the one part. The other part is for the grade 11s, because I've got a daughter going to Matric this year, who looks at the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 distinctions, and she went, I don't think I'm going to get that. And the panic in her face. And I said, I don't care what you get. I really don't care what you get.
Yeah.
As long as you put in the best effort that you
Keep
can,
trying.
so that as many doors are open, so that you can then choose what it is. But as long as you try, it's not the end of the road for anyone. And I know that I'm not the only person who's been super successful who didn't automatically get a varsity entrance when they passed Matric.
Say what? A team that keeps on trying is Liverpool.
They were phenomenal last night. And if you watch the game, Dominic Szoboszlai's opening game against Barnsley in a 4-1 win in the FA Cup was absolutely sublime. I watched it. I went, yo, jeez. And then moments later, he does this weird fumble thing in front of goals and Barnsley scores. And everybody's like, what is going on? It was crazy. It's worth watching. But the other goals from Liverpool was from Frimpong, Wirtz and Ekiteke. And Arne Slot wasn't too impressed with the overall result.
I was happy with the goals we scored. Were nice goals, but I think it was far too long a game that was tight, because 2-0 up, then giving a goal away like that made it difficult till 5-10 minutes before the end. Difficult in the sense of another one bad moment, and it could have been 2-2. So again, not enough chances from all the ball possession we had.
Real Madrid have parted ways with Xabi Alonso. They replaced him with Alvaro Arbeloa. Less than 24 hours after they lost to Barcelona in Spanish Super Cup final. Real's currently second in La Liga, just 4 points behind Barca. They're seventh in the Champions League. In cricket, Pretoria Capitals have gone top of the SA20 table. They beat My Cape Town by 53 runs. Player of the match, Rutherford, with 53 from 27 to see the Capitals to 185 for 6. Cape Town dismal in their run chase. Only one player making more than 20 runs. It was Reza Hendricks, unbeaten on 68. In women's cricket, Australia's captain and legend Alyssa Healy has announced she'll retire from all forms of the game. She has 2 World Cups to her name and holds the record for the highest individual score in a World Cup final. That was 170. Stage 8 of the Dakar was South African 1-2. Variawa coming home ahead of Lataghan and Cummins by only 3 seconds. The result sees Lataghan and Cummins move to third overall, just 6 minutes behind the leaders. And in golf, Brooks Koepka, who recently left Live Golf with 1 year still left on that contract, has announced he'll return to the PGA under its new returning member program. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Hi, my name is Alwande. I'm 11 years old. I attend the school Tafanteng Primary School. When I grew up, I wish to be a doctor. I'm very excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you, Uncle Bongani.
Alwande, may it increase. May your blessings increase. We can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with you.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Ford. Live at your peak in the Ford Everest. Where are there delays? In the Melrose area, I think you said, Karabo?
Yeah, we still have those delays heading towards Sandton and Melrose. M1 northbound, this is between Athol, Oaklands and Corlett. In Illiondale, that's in the Edenvale area, expect heavy delays on Modderfontein Road between Zierfontein Road and Laurie. Otherwise, the rest of 702 land looking pretty good. And no accidents have been reported on our highways. Just going back to Ekurhuleni Springs area, I see there's also some delays. This is on Kingsway Road between South Main Reef and Cowley Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
There's heading out for the weekend, and then there's heading out for the weekend in your Ford Everest. With terrain modes for any road conditions and seats comfier than your leather couch, it's not just traveling, it's exploring. That's peak living in the Ford Everest, starting from only 837,500. And with our Ford Family Promise, you have access to a 60-minute express service because your vehicle deserves a pit crew too. Visit your nearest Ford dealer today. T&Cs apply.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're talking to APSA. Their CEO, Kenny Fihla, will be in conversation with us. And we do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen.
That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Let's play the Whiz Quiz. Today we're playing with 11-year-old Alwande, who goes to Turfentine Primary School, wants to be a doctor a little later on in life. Alwande, are you ready to play the Whiz Quiz with us?
Yes, I'm ready to play.
That is fantastic. Okay, here we go. Let's start the clock. What is 70 minus 20?
50.
Correct. Spell the word besides.
BESIDES.
Correct. Complete the command in rugby. Crouch, bind, what?
Pass.
Set. True or false? Whales are mammals.
True.
Correct. When do leaves fall? In summer or autumn?
Autumn.
Correct. In what year were the first free elections held in South Africa?
1999.
1994. How many days are there in 2 weeks?
14.
14 days. We didn't get through all the 10 questions. You might have done even better, but not a bad start to the year. You walk away with 500 Rand, Alwande, 500 Rand. That's a tidy sum for an 11-year-old. Well done and congratulations. So the Whiz Quiz is back in action. Send us a WhatsApp voice note if you're aged 10 to 13 and we could be calling you.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is up for grabs. Remember, you send us an answer based on something you heard in the show. For that, you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to get to your answer, and for their troubles, they'll walk away with 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Delays in Springs, Garabo.
Yeah, in Ekurhuleni, there's a bumper traffic on Paul Kruger. That's Kingsway Road, approaching South Main Reef Road. In Illiondale, also expect some delays on Modderfontein Road. This is between Zierfontein Road and Laurie, and we still have those faulty traffic lights in 4 ways at Witkoppen and Leslie. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Now, you may be paying more for groceries, but with Outsurance, you could be saving on your car insurance. Like 63-year-old Almero, who saves an unbelievable 417 Rand on his 2021 Ford Ranger. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. SMS out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
On to this now. Elon Musk's Starlink is available in over 110 countries worldwide. The Pretoria-born billionaire has made no bones about his desire to be approved to operate here in South Africa. But he's arguing he's being prevented from doing so, to quote him, because of anti-white laws. He argues his internet service could be a game changer for the country. Our next guest says opening the door for Musk would not only be stupid, but a threat to our constitutional order and social justice goals. Songa Zozibi is the leader of Rise Mzansi and the chair of Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts, and joins us now to unpack his assertions and to explain why this global tech story has become so politically charged here at home. Always a pleasure to chat to you. Thank you for your time and good morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and Happy New Year.
Belated happy birthday, I should also add, hey?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm an old guy now.
We're getting older. All right, let's get straight into it, Sangezo. Why would it be stupid to give Starlink the green light in South Africa?
Because Elon Musk is a malignant political actor and has meddled in the politics of several countries in Europe. He's meddled in the United States. And in the case of South Africa, he has consistently spread disinformation and misinformation about South Africa. Now, some people may take this lightly, Bongani, but democracy depends on citizens having access to accurate information so that they can make informed political decisions. When you have someone who has provably used his platforms to spread disinformation and hate across the world, it is a massive risk to the stability of that country to allow that person to operate when they have already declared their opposition to the very constitutional order they would operate under.
If I may push back a little, I mean, he's doing that anyway, as you've just explained. What would the fundamental risk be if he's licensed here? Because his Starlink has been a game changer, as I said in my introduction, in over 100 countries globally. Could certainly help improve connectivity in rural areas and underserviced areas. Don't we need that kind of coverage?
Absolutely we do. I come from a village, Bongani, and that's terribly needed. But just think of the information your cell phone service provider has. They've got your address, they've got your age, they've got your ID, they've got your bank account, a lot of your demographic information. And when somebody is a malignant political actor like that, do you really want to give them that information? Why would we do that? This is not the same thing that other operators are doing. They're not weaponizing that information. The worst that will happen, Bongani, is that you'll get a spam call about a service that you perhaps may not want. But when somebody has got that information, as well as the heat maps of where the cell phones and the cell phone numbers that are connected to that network are, what could they do with it?
What could they do with it? I mean, many of us and many people listening to us right now would already be users of at least one of his platforms. I'm thinking X now. Some of the information that you say he would have via Starlink, he already has in that regard. What's he doing with that?
How many people do you know on X that are also called the GOAT with a fake Gmail account? The point is the extent of the information that would be given to an internet service provider far exceeds anything people have to provide on X. In fact, one of the fundamental problems with X itself as a platform is that it is infested, and he has allowed and encouraged this to happen, with millions of fake accounts that spread disinformation and hate across the world, which is part of what makes him dangerous for our ecosystem as well. So the point, Bongani, is information, personal information, metadata, and so on, is absolutely critical and cannot be given to malignant actors like Elon Musk.
As we sit here, it does appear that Minister Solimalatsi is bending over backwards to accommodate him. And some might ask, what's wrong with considering equity equivalent compliance measures as a way of accommodating black economic empowerment requirements?
Bongani, somebody who has declared open support for white supremacists and has done the Nazi salute, why are we fretting about BEE? Which black entrepreneur should do business with that kind of person anyway? Why do we have no principles? And I'm saying this to the people who raise the BEE question. Are none of these issues that I'm raising important as long as somebody says who's a racist, who's a Nazi, who's allowing anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on his platforms? Are we saying that does not matter as long as you get a BEE shareholding? BEE is less important in this case. In fact, it should be immaterial because this person should not operate here for the reasons that I've given.
But does the color of money, in a sense, matter? I'm going to present an argument that would be advanced by the likes of say, the Institute of Race Relations, for example, who are bemoaning that foreign direct investment flows in South Africa have plunged in the last year, dropping down quite sharply in the last quarter of 2025. That kind of thing ultimately is the ultimate transformation goal for our society if we've got monies coming into South Africa. Isn't that the ultimate goal?
I can still remember a time, Bongani, when we had principals we were unhappy when the South African government refused the Dalai Lama visa to come to South Africa, or when al-Bashir was not arrested here, because we spoke about principles. Now, at the first sight of money, there should be no principles when our very democracy is at stake. So that's my question to the people who say, as long as somebody shows us a few pieces of silver, we can move the line and have nowhere where we draw the line, especially when it comes to the democracy that we all fought so hard for. In fact, our forefathers and foremothers fought so hard for. It doesn't matter because there's money now. And we know this person is wreaking havoc in other countries. We know it. And somehow we believe that he will not do it here for a peculiar reason when he does it every day.
And he's been doing it all along. It's a very interesting position when we think about balancing technology, sovereignty, and transformation in a globalized digital economy. As always, appreciate your time. Senga Zozibi, the leader of Rise Mzansi and the chairperson of Parliament Scopa.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview, of course, focuses on the success of the class of 2025. We'll be bringing you some of the top performers across the land, and we speak to Umalusi. All of that to come after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Khalix, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
Matriculants are heading to their different schools to find out how well they did. We cross live to our reporters fanned out in Gauteng for more. And the U.S. House of Representatives has passed legislation to extend AGOA. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Matriculants are preparing to receive their results after the class of 2025 secured an 88% overall pass rate. More than 900,000 full and part-time candidates wrote the exam last year, making it the highest number in the country's history. While KwaZulu-Natal was the top-performing province with a pass rate of 90.6%, the best-performing district is Johannesburg West in Gauteng. And that's where we find EWN reporter Khomotso Modise this morning. Khomotso, you are at the Ellen Glen High School. Have matric pupils started arriving to receive their results there?
Not yet, so in fact, the Allen Glen School still remains rather quiet this morning, as only teachers and staff have made their way through the gates. So while the Gauteng province has not hit the top spot as the best performing province in a while, its Johannesburg West district has managed to become the best performing district in the country with a 96.2% pass rate. In the province, the Tshwane North district is also in the top 10, securing 5th position. So while the Allen Glen School remains quiet this morning, with a few cars making their way onto the premises, we are expecting matric pupils to trickle in as the day progresses to receive their results statements. Tando Luhle Ngobo is in the north of Johannesburg in Diepsloot. Tando, what's the situation there this morning?
Well, Khomotso, standing here at Diepsloot Secondary School number 2 this morning, the first thing you notice isn't the smell of books or the sound of the bell ringing. To look at these grounds, quite frankly, Khomotso, is heartbreaking. There are no manicured lawns here or brick and mortar hallways. Instead, the school is crammed with old, dilapidated mobile classrooms, Khomotso, with broken doors and windows. The dust from the unpaved yard seems to coat everything. But despite a physical environment that seems designed for failure, Khomotso, this morning, the school has produced one of the province's top performing learners and has also achieved a 100% pass rate. The teachers who have started to arrive so far, they seem excited, and some of the learners who have slowly started to trickle into the school have headed straight to what seems to be a tool shed here, Khomotso, and have picked up some tools to start cleaning up the yard just right before receiving the results. But despite the fact the learners are laughing, they're excited to see each other as they clean up And I know that one of our other reporters, Shablile Mbata, is in the east of Johannesburg. Shablile, you have been speaking to staff there. What have they had to say?
Tando, I am at Sunwood Park High School in Boksburg. This school has achieved 98.4%, an increase from the previous year where they obtained 97.5%. The number of candidates has reportedly increasing exponentially. Last year, 406 pupils registered to write their national senior certificate exams, and this year, 428 sat to write. Principal Nadia Walji was appointed in April last year, and she joins us now to give us a breakdown of some of the distinctions obtained.
Good morning to our listeners. Thank you so much for having me. I must say I'm very proud of our learners. We've got learners that have 110 learners have distinctions in LO, 62 learners have EC Zulu distinctions, 39 in RS, 17 in life sciences, 12 in English, 11 in accounting, 9 in maths, business studies and Afrikaans, physical sciences 7, economics 6, maths, lit, geography and EGD 4 each, and IT 3, and civil 1 distinction.
Jabulile Mbata reporting from Boksburg.
Those are the reporters fanned out across Gauteng, giving you the latest as the matriculants prepare to get their statements and the statements of results from their respective schools. You can follow our reporters on EWN Reporter on X. Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibia is among witnesses expected to testify before the Madlanga Commission this year. The commission into allegations of corruption within the criminal justice system will resume its public hearings at the end of the month and is expected to conclude its business in April. The inquiry was set up following damning allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi in July last year. And the U.S. House of Representatives has passed legislation to extend AGOA in a sign that strengthens economic ties with the U.S. and sub-Saharan African countries. The Africa Growth and Opportunity Act allows duty-free access to the U.S. market for goods from the continent. This arrangement, which South Africa has also benefited from, has been extended by another 3 years and is expected to end in December 2028. This allows countries to claw back duties paid to export goods to the U.S. since the previous act ended almost 4 months ago. U.S. Congresswoman Terry Sewell made the announcement of the extension before the House of Representatives.
The bill we are considering today would extend AGOA for 3 years and will send a clear message to the African continent that we are committed to strengthening our shared prosperity. The fact that the program ended in September 25 has been a serious source of concern for many. A clean 3-year reauthorization is preferable because businesses require predictability and certainty.
Gold is trading at $4,616.26 an ounce. The rand is at 16.39 to the dollar, 22.07 to the pound, 19.13 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.34 a barrel.
In Edenville, Ilondale area expects some delays on Modderfontein Road between Zurfontein Road and Laurie, and traffic lights still not working in Sunning Hill at Rivonia and Witkoppen.
And in your sport, Real Madrid have axed manager Xabi Alonso, replacing him with Alvaro Arbeloa. Liverpool beat Barnsley 4-1. They'll play Brighton in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Pretoria Capitals are top of the SA20 table after beating MI Cape Town. And at the Dakar, South Africans dominated stage 8, making it a 1-2. The result sees Lattergang and Cummins now up to 3rd overall.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 14 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria 15 and 26. Vereeniging 16 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Matriculants are preparing to receive their results after the class of 2025 secured an 88% overall pass rate.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
It's time to get back to business by visiting Khaliq's, because a new year means a fresh new start and even more opportunities to look smart with Khaliq's collection of business suits in a range of colors, styles and quality fabrics, not to mention the very best quality, value for money and service. So whatever your New Year's resolution, do it in style with business formal, relaxed and casual collections, all from Khaliq's, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock, we are saying halala, 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 halala to the class of 2025. The Basic Education Minister, Siviwe Kwahube, extended her congratulations to the class of 2025, the top achievers, yesterday. And it's just the good news we've all been needing, is it not?
Most importantly, our top achievers of the class of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. This is the pride of the nation. When we say you are the pride of the nation, we mean it. Nothing warms my heart more than to look across this room and see children from across the length and breadth of South Africa. That finally, after many, many, many years, the circumstances of your birth do not determine whether or not you get to sit at this table and call yourself a top achiever. And for that, I think we ought to be very proud.
Oh, man. Right? Yesterday, the top achiever in the National Senior Certificate was announced as Abigail Koch of York High School in the Western Cape. And she was awarded her certificate after, as I say, being named the top performing matric learner across all public schools nationwide.
Abigail, come get your certificates. Abigail Koch. Let's keep those round of applause going. She is the top achiever for public schools in the whole country, ladies and gentlemen. So Abigail would be the top achiever out of all the learners that wrote the National Senior Certificate. She is #1 in the country. Congratulations to you, Abigail. Deputy Minister, thank you so much.
Well, let's hear from Abigail Koch herself, the top national achiever, as I say, from the school in the Western Cape. It's called York High School, sharing how it was really balancing everything and putting in a consistent effort throughout the year, and how that was a key to her success.
Abigail Koch, I'm the top achiever for 2025. Right now, it feels completely surreal. I honestly did not really expect this at all. For me, the big thing in getting here for me personally, was to try and avoid procrastination. It's very difficult. YouTube Shorts is really amazing when you have to study. But for me, it was procrastination, having a timetable, and consistently working hard throughout the year, and definitely also maintaining balance. Maintaining balance, doing sport, doing culture, and remembering to thank God through it all. And then my plans for next year, I'm going to study at Stellenbosch. Right now I'm registered for actuarial science, although I am hoping to shift to data science instead. And my advice for the matrics of now 2026, you can do this. You've got it. Just work hard, try your best not to procrastinate, and very importantly, enjoy the year. It's such a special year, and it's your last chance to be a child. So enjoy it, laugh, scream next to sports matches, and you've got this. Good luck, class of 2027.
Good luck, class 2027 is the message there from the top achiever. Let's talk to some of the learners who've done incredibly well. Firstly, let's start with Riatile Sipeng, who is a top achiever at St. Mary's DSG in Pretoria. Riatile, how are you feeling before I ask you anything else? My goodness, this is the moment you've been waiting for your whole life, really, hey?
It is the moment I've been waiting for. I think yesterday when I got my results, I was just so awestruck and shocked. I couldn't believe that any of it was happening. And it took me the whole day to really process it. And after barely a good night's sleep, because I was so excited about the results and being interviewed by you, because I think it just took me back to grade 8 when I was interviewed by you for the disc and brain. And it's just reminding me of how proud grade 8 me would be of myself right now. And right now I'm just filled with immense gratitude for everything.
Oh my goodness. So we have obviously spoken, you participated in the brain of 702, the junior brain, and look at where it has led you to now, hey?
Exactly. I'm so proud of myself and I can't believe it. Like I'm amazed.
It is emotional for us too, Riatile. Just give us a sense of your overall performance for obviously the listeners who will be listening out there, and of course why we are speaking to you. How well did you do?
So I did really well for myself. I got 9 distinctions, and I was part of the outstanding achievement for the IEB, which means I got top 5% in 6 or more subjects and a mark of 7 in life orientation.
And what comes next for you now, Riatil?
So my dream has always been to be a cardiothoracic surgeon in future. So I hope to study at UCT for medicine. I think it's always because my heart has always lied with medicine and surgery. And I find it really cool that you were interviewing or talking to Shonda Rimes earlier, because one of her characters from Grey's Anatomy, Dr. Christina Yang, has been an inspiration, especially throughout my Matric journey.
Oh, man, Riatil, be still my beating heart. I'm so proud of you. We are so excited.
Thank you so
I
much.
tell you what, let's keep on talking. Let's keep these conversations going. Tell us how it's going at UCT, and when you get that medical degree, shall we talk again, hey?
We will definitely talk again.
9 distinctions. Riatile Sipeng from St. Mary's DSG, one of the top achievers in the IEB stream. We've also got Siba Vuba, who is a Dutch scholar from St. Albans College, joining us. Siba, congratulations. Well done. How are you feeling?
It's a bit surreal, sir, if I'm being honest. Yesterday when I got the results, I think I echo Riatile's sentiment here that I couldn't believe it, honestly. I was just filled with joy and pride.
I'm surprised because, in a sense, I mean, this is a reflection of how you've been doing throughout most of your schooling career. Certainly your prelims would have been a good indication of how well you are going to do. So I guess I'm surprised you're surprised, if you follow what I mean.
Yeah, but it's actually because this year, of course, I'd been second place throughout the year. I mean, I was very busy. I had, of course, sports and prefect duties, all of that. But just I came back at the end and finished it there as the Dutch scholar. So it was a big moment for me.
All right, just tell me what it means to be a Dutch scholar for somebody who doesn't know.
Dutch scholar means to have gotten the top mark of your matriculating group, basically.
And how well did you do, Siba?
I got an average of 91.43%. I was on the IEB Commendable Achievements list and made the IEB top 1% for Afrikaans and English.
Goodness me. What comes next for you now?
I'll be studying finance at UCT this year.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Well done. You are an inspiration. You are warming so many hearts. So many people listening to you right now are just swelling with pride. And on and on and on to even greater success. Hey?
Thank you very much, sir. We'll make sure.
Siba Vuba, the Dutch scholar at St. Albans College. Doesn't it just make your heart sing just a little?
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN traffic.
Catch up with the roads. Delays in the Edenvale area. Karabo, what are you seeing?
Yeah, expect some delays in Ilondale. That's in Edenvale. This is on Modderfontein Road between Zuurfontein and Lorry in Tembisa. Also slow-moving traffic on Olifantsfontein Road between Madiba and Pretoria Road. Otherwise, generally, things looking really good in 702 land and nothing hectic really to report about. No accidents have been reported at this hour. However, look out for those faulty traffic lights in Sandton at Grayston and the M1. Traffic lights also not working in Polshof at Witkoppen and Main. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
The big interview
With Bongani Bingwa.
Of course, as we continue to shine a spotlight on the class of 2025, we must also take a moment to reflect that, of course, the process wasn't without its challenges. In the lead up to the results announcement, Umalusi confirmed a localized leak of the National Senior Certificate papers in Pretoria. To be clear, it affected a small group of candidates, and it was a breach that nonetheless has sparked more of a debate around security, transparency, and confidence in the examination process. So even as we celebrate, perhaps we also need to cross some T's and dot some I's in that regard. And so we are joined now by Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, who is the CEO of Umalusi, joining us now on the line. Thank you so much for your time and good morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners.
All right, let's start with the good news first, hey? Let's start with the class of 2025. I mean, 88%, it really is quite an extraordinary achievement, the best we've done so far.
It is indeed an extraordinary achievement, and historically we come from below 40%, below 50% to be precise, as a country when it comes to the matric results. And the educators have been working very hard. The department has been working very hard to turn the situation around. And what they have achieved is indeed commendable.
What patterns, I mean, because what is a clear story is there's been a steady improvement year after year after year. What patterns are you seeing in terms of particularly this performance of the class of 2025?
My observation is that the focus has been on the gateway subjects, and also the focus has been on improving the bachelor passes that allow students to proceed into universities. And that is hard work, because whilst it is true that we've got 88%, we don't only have to look at quantity, we have to look at the quality of the results, where you look at the learners who enroll for the gateway subjects, your sciences and your commercial subjects, and also students who are able to proceed to universities with the bachelor pass.
Isn't there concern, though, that even as you talk about trends as far as the gateway subjects, there have been some concerns about particularly mathematics and the number of learners who are writing mathematics as a subject as opposed to, say, for example, maths literacy?
Whilst it is true that we want to encourage the majority of our learners to do mathematics, it is also true that mathematical literacy also has got its value in society. It has got its value, otherwise we would not be offering the subject, would not be quality assuring it if it was valueless. So all I'm saying is that it is very important that we register the majority of the learners in mathematics, and we have to do advocacy in that regard. But that should not suggest that mathematical literacy is a useless subject.
No, not at all. I'm not suggesting that at all. But what I'm saying, though, is there's been a concern around, as you say, the goal ultimately would be to have more learners going the mathematics, the pure maths route, and that is not to underplay the value of maths literacy. And there's been a concern that perhaps we're not quite in the right direction as far as that is concerned.
Indeed, you're spot on. We have to work hard. Hence, I'm talking about advocacy, encouraging students to do pure mathematics, and also availing enough resources for the learners to do mathematics, because you have to train enough teachers to teach pure mathematics. It can't just be our wish that we have that. We have to actually put systems in place that will attain that goal.
Strategies in place to make sure it happens rather than just wish for it. Just explain to us where Umalusi comes in, because obviously we tend to think about you almost really at the end of the process. What role do you play in supporting educators and learners in the lead up to matric exams, and how do you contribute to how the system operates?
We don't support learners, we don't support educators, because we are not providers of education. We do oversight, we do quality assurance, we're outside the system. Our role is almost similar to that of the Auditor General, where we come in and check whether the systems have been applied according to policy. What we do is that the question papers that are written are set by the different assessment bodies, internally moderated by them. Then they bring them to us for external moderation, for UMAS to check whether the papers have been set according to the curriculum assessment and policy statement. Once we approve those papers, then, only then can they be written. And during the writing process, we monitor the system. We check that there is adherence to policy in terms of the distribution of question papers, the storage of question papers, the writing environment where the learners are writing the examinations, the invigilators that are appointed. We monitor the system every step of the way, including the verification of marking and also ensuring that only qualified markers are appointed. So our role is that of oversight.
Yeah. I mean, we can quibble with it. I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, I think in some sense you do offer a supportive role because ultimately it is your say-so that makes sure all of these things can go ahead. Let's turn now to this issue of that leak, particularly in Pretoria. As I said in my introduction, it was a localized leak. I don't want to paint the picture of something that was perhaps more broad than it was. It was a localized incident. It affected only a small number of candidates, but nonetheless, it is something to be concerned about.
It is something that is concerning. It is a very, very unfortunate incident that has dented and tainted the image of our processes. That an official employed in the department, entrusted with such huge responsibilities, finds it fitting to leak the paper is something that is worrisome, is something that we have to actually correct in the system.
I mean, could this have been prevented? How did it happen? Maybe let's start there. Bring our listeners up to speed in terms of how it happened, and could it have been prevented?
How this happened is that an official working in exams, from the look of things, was approached by an official working in the department, but in HR. The official in HR has a child in Matric, and this one in exams was approached to avail certain papers, mathematics, physical sciences, and English home language. That's how the breach happened. And it is something that we are frowning upon because this could have been prevented. One, first of all, everybody who works in exams has to be vetted. Two, the examination area is not an area that is accessible to everybody. And the people who work in exams have to be monitored every step of the way to check the activity on their computers, whether there's been an unauthorized flash disk that comes into their computer, so that has to be explained to say why at a particular day, on a particular day, at a particular time, was there a flash disk that was inserted in your computer, and so forth and so on, so that there was supposed to have been systems put in place to prevent this from happening.
And so ultimately, whose failure was it?
Well, it is the failure of the system in that we didn't vet the people, we did not monitor as we were supposed to have monitored the people who work in exams. It was a question of trust, with this official having worked in the exam section for 17 years. And I'm on the record as saying the system is as strong as the people who work in it. One person can undermine the whole system.
The system failed? The department failed? Umalusi failed? What do you mean the system?
The system, I don't mean Umalusi. Umalusi is not in the operations of where the papers are set.
Sure.
I'm saying the department failed in terms of the supervision of these people who work in exams.
So ultimately, what censure then will the people who are at the center of this saga face?
The people have to face disciplinary processes. I'm talking here about the officials of the department. An investigation is still continuing. Where there have been lapses, those people have to face the music. I'm aware that the two officials that I've referred to are on suspension as you speak. And indeed, the SAPS, South African Police Service, is also going to be involved, because this is a criminal case. It's not only a question of labor relations, it is a criminal matter.
And the learners?
The learners are going to be subjected to a hearing. The department still has to appoint presiding officers where they are going to present their case before a presiding officer. And a sanction of, a report of either guilty or innocent is going to be
if found guilty, what happens?
If found guilty, they are going to be sanctioned not to write the examinations for a year, for 2 years, or for 3 years, depending on the gravity of their involvement.
Goodness me, it does paint a little bit of a dampener on an otherwise successful matriculation exam. Appreciate your time there, Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, who is the CEO of Umalusi, the quality assurer. They're the ultimate ones who give the thumbs up as far as the process of the Matric exam is concerned.
EWN Business.
29 after 7. Let's talk business news now with Muteo Khwaripe. Gold touching what? $4,600 an ounce. This, of course, also to do with those concerns over the independence of the Federal Reserve. We touched on this yesterday.
Yeah, gold prices have hit record highs, touching that $4,600 mark an ounce on Monday, driven by concerns over the U.S. Federal Reserve's independence. The U.S. Justice Department's threat of a criminal indictment against Fed Chair Jerome Powell has sparked fears that the administration is trying to influence the bank's interest rate decisions. 3 former heads of the U.S. Federal Reserve and 4 former Treasury secretaries in Democratic and Republican administrations have criticized a criminal probe ordered by Donald Trump, the Trump administration, into Fed Chair Jerome Powell, the latest unprecedented escalation under Donald Trump. Now, former Fed chairs Janet Yellen, Ben Bernanke, and Alan Greenspan also signed that statement yesterday criticizing the president. The latest Trump move is causing a lot of caution and uncertainty, which has driven up the gold price. The dollar has also weakened, while the U.S. 10-year Treasury yields have edged higher as investors seek safe haven assets like gold and silver.
Alphabet doing well.
Yeah, Alphabet's market capitalization has surpassed $4 trillion, becoming one of the few companies to ever cross the threshold, as investors increasingly see the Google parent company as one of the biggest winners of the artificial intelligence boom. Google offers various AI products and models through the Gemini family. Shares rose during the day by as much as 1.7% to $334 a share, translating to a market cap of $4 trillion.
Should we ask Gemini for the indicators?
We could. 16.41 against the US dollar this morning, 19 Rand 14 cents against the euro, and 22 Rand 10 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,593 an ounce, while platinum is down 0.5% at $2,324. Still quite high though. Brent crude at $64.06 a barrel. More business after 8.
It's a good news Tuesday, is it not? Sfiso Zulu, 7:31, your time check. Over to the news desk.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. It's an exciting time for matriculants who achieved an overall pass rate of 88%, the highest the country has recorded. Amongst the pupils celebrating today is Riatile Sipeng, a top achiever at St. Mary's DSG, who actually once took part in the Junior Brain of 702.
I think it just took me back to grade 8 when I was interviewed by you for the Discount Brain, and it's just reminding me of how proud grade 8 me would be of myself right now. So I did really well for myself. I got 9 distinctions, and I was part of the outstanding achievement for the IEB, which means I got top 5% in 6 or more subjects.
We have our reporters fanned out across Gauteng to look at the pupils who are making their way to their respective schools as they receive their results this morning. And on the East Rand is Jabulile Mbata, EWN reporter. She is at Sunward Park High School. Jabulile, what's happening there?
Staff are in a celebratory mood this morning, CISO, at Sunward Park High School on the East Rand as they wait for matriculants to get their results. The school has achieved a 98.4%, a slight increase from the previous year. Last year, Sunward Park High was the only school in Boksburg with matriculants who obtained 8 distinctions and the highest number of bachelor passes in Ekurhuleni South District. This year, 5 learners have obtained 8 distinctions. Principal Nadia Walji, who was previously acting from 2023 until she was appointed last year, says her values include discipline, accountability, and dedication. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, reporting live from Sunward Park High.
The Education Department in KwaZulu-Natal has hailed teachers in the province for good work and good results that were obtained by the class of 2025 despite challenges in schools. KZN was named the best performing province with a pass rate of 90.6% during the announcement of the National Senior Certificate yesterday. The department says while it faced a number of issues, it never failed to deliver. Last year, KZN schools faced protests over non-payment of norms and standards money meant for the running running of schools, among other issues. But department spokesperson Muzi Mhlambi says they managed to overcome those challenges.
This is the program that we crafted after we received the 2024 results, where we sat down and said, where are the gaps? And then we came up with the consolidation programs in terms of those gaps. So throughout the year, we've been coming up with the intervention programs, be it in March, be it winter schools, be it spring classes.
And the Basic Education Department says only 34 of the class of 2025 wrote mathematics, and most choosing mathematical literacy. This is being described as a worrying sign, as mathematics is a key gateway subject for further study. Minister Siviwe Kwagube is encouraged, though, by the slight increase in enrollments for mathematics, accounting, physical science and other technical subjects, calling it a turning tide.
We're encouraged by the enrollment increases in mathematics and other gateway subjects such as accounting and physical science and other technical subjects. However, we would like to see the performance matching that enrollment. So, in other words, the system is growing but not fast enough in the subjects that most powerfully shape access to further study in scarce skills and economic participation. And we as a department are dedicated to making sure that this improves and improves dramatically.
And US President Donald Trump has announced a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Trump has been mulling his options on Iran, which has been hit by more than 2 weeks of demonstrations that have defied a near total internet blackout and lethal force. Sparked by economic grievances, the nationwide protests have grown into one of the biggest challenges yet to the theocratic system that has ruled Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution ousted the Shah. Iranian authorities have blamed foreign interference for stoking the unrest and staged their own nationwide counter-rallies. Hundreds of people have reportedly been killed in the protests. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 25 and 26.
Edenville, Illiondale area expects some delays on Modderfontein Road between Zierfontein Road and Laurie. Traffic lights still not working in Sandton at Grayston and the M1.
The top story in EWN this hour is an exciting time for matriculants who've achieved an overall pass rate of 88%, the highest the country has recorded.
To all pedestrians, please wear light or white clothing when walking at night. Headlights cannot pick up dark clothing soon enough to save a life. And to all road users, rest every 200 kilometers or at least every 2 hours. If you feel fatigued, pull over safely. Falling asleep at the wheel leads to head-on collisions that are almost always fatal. And the rules are simple. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and jaywalk. If you need to party, stay over. Brought to you by the Department of Transport, moving South Africa to new heights.
Mzansi, 156 million rand this Tuesday. Powerball has exploded to a breathtaking 156 million jackpot. One of the biggest jackpots ever. Don't delay. Play Powerball today and you could win a jackpot to remember. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, push up, play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
At Richfield, we don't just offer degrees, we open doors to a learning experience of a lifetime. Your education should be about growth you can feel, skills you can use, and support from your first class to your final graduation. Study online or at one of our 8 premium campuses. We support you with job-ready skills and a world-class curriculum. Apply at richfield.ac.za. Richfield, your future enriched.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, Happy New Year, Bongani. How's it, 702 fam? It's Stephen here. I think we're right to celebrate the class of 2025 and the class of 2024. We're seeing real evidence now of a sort of gear change in our education system, and I think that's great, and it's going to change everything. But gee, we need to focus on maths. Maths is such an issue, and I think we need to sort of let the maths issue take over parts of our education system. It needs to be the big national focus. We need to move ahead with this, and we really need to get cracking, because if we do that, I think that's what's going to be the real game changer, and we'll get the whole economy going again. Anyway, I'll chat to you later. Obviously, we'll talk about AGOA. Cheers.
Good morning, Mongs and the team. Sam from Randburg here. 2025 was my first year of teaching Matric, and I am very, very proud of all of my Matric babies at our school. 100% pass rate. I am so proud. So a big shout out to all the caliber kids of 2025. Cheers.
Hi, Bongani. I'd like to send a huge shout out and congratulations to my niece, Kanya Godisang, who matriculated in 2025. She did phenomenally well. She got 6 distinctions, 3 subjects in the 90s, 3 subjects in the 80s. I mean, amazing results. Kanya, we are so proud of you. All the best to your future. You are so bright, and the future is so bright ahead of you. And we are so happy. Congratulations, and shout out to St. Mary's Waverley for the amazing matric results as well.
Hi, Bongani. After the issue of getting 30% in an exam, I think we need to deal with the issue of schools just raising children to be consumers and to be employees. I think we need to have schools raise children to be good people too. Thanks. Shout out.
Good morning, and thank you for a beautiful show. And I just want to say that with regards to the 30% that is actually so being questioned, how does that going to help our Black children who are not actually having access to better private schools and information and what have you?
Well, I'm not sure if I followed that question entirely. I was explaining what the minister's position was on this yesterday in really getting through what this 30%, that it's not just a 30% pass mark across the board. It's a combination of subjects depending on which matric certificate you want to exit the system with. And so not everybody is going to go down the academic stream. But congratulations to all the top achievers. I'm asking you, or at least giving you the opportunity to send a shout out to any matriculant who has done well. And they don't have to have 6 or 7 or 8 distinctions. I love hearing from the teacher who said it was her first year teaching matric and they got 100% pass rate at her school. That was absolutely touching. A very good friend of mine's daughter, I want to send a shout out to her, Fifi Mutsukunyane, got 6 distinctions. She was at St. Mary's Waverley. Did really, really well. Just so proud of her because this is a child who was doing podcasts during the pandemic and doing all sorts of things during lockdown. And so we've tracked her journey as a group of friends because we're close to her mom and her father. And she's just done well. So that's my little shout out for the class of 2025. If you've got somebody you want to recognize, send us a shout out on 072 702 1702. This is the good news we've been needing. Cindy, you were out of the studio. One of the top achievers at St. Mary's DSG, who got 9 distinctions, was a former contestant in the brain of 702, the junior brain.
How did she do?
And she says she got 9 distinctions.
No, but how did she do in the quiz?
I didn't care.
Because that's the real taste.
She's like, we've spoken before. I was in the junior brain. It was just such a full circle moment. Absolutely the good news we needed this morning.
Hi, Bongani. Congratulations to Riatile. IEB, I guess it's not a child's play. To get 9 distinctions, that's a proper achievement. Yes, proper achievement, because it's not a 30% pass mark. So congratulations to her. Yeah, no man, 9 distinctions. That's a proper achievement. Well done, girl. I'm so proud of you.
702.
What's the question?
All right, what's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Opa, who is in Mpumalanga. Opa, please give us today's answer.
Good morning, Bongani. Happy New Year and compliments of the new season. Today's answer is Shonda Rimes.
Shonda Rimes. I thought you were going to say 88% or something like that. All right, Opa, taking us a little, left field. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, my friend, all thanks to Outsurance and 702, hey?
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Opa says the answer is Shonda Rimes. Pray tell, what's the question? Call us now on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, now yesterday you and I were talking about axing managers.
I've got a shout. Can I do my shout out? I know
But
so
of
many
course.
of these kids. So,
But of course.
So two in particular. One is my niece.
Yes.
Georgina Grotta. She got 5 distinctions.
Aww.
Very proud of her because she had quite a difficult emotional year on the family front. So for her, I'm extremely proud. And
school. The school
St.
gets
Mary's Waverley.
Waverley, of
Where your
course.
child
Yes.
is, yeah. And then my my best friend from school, her daughter, Zoe Anderson, goes to Kingsmead.
Yes.
Got 10 distinctions.
Wow.
Yeah, got 10.
Wow. 10 distinctions.
She got 10 distinctions.
Goodness me.
It's I get goosebumps when I think about it because it's a strange, because I matriculated 30 years ago this year. So it's a strange feeling when the people you matriculated with children are now writing and doing matric. But you know what? I'm just so proud of all the kids.
Yeah. But it's also you may remember your friend's child as a toddler, as a baby.
Yeah.
And now 10 distinctions. You're like, oh my gosh, is it you?
And the head girl at De La Salle Holy Cross College as well, Kira Leask, she got 10 distinctions. And I just remember watching her in the swimming pool and being like, well, this child's such a good little swimmer. Like, she's going to be an Olympic swimmer. No, I guess she could probably go work for NASA now. Because with 10 distinctions, with 98 for physical science and 96
some
for
of the
maths.
St. John's boys going to Harvard.
It's crazy.
What I love is, obviously the distinctions matter and that's great, but it's the springboard to these incredible dreams these kids want to go and pursue. And that for me, this is just the start.
And you know what else I love is the kids who do exceptionally well. They're like, I've got 7 distinctions. Okay, what are you going to go do? And they don't choose anything that you needed incredible marks for. They go and choose something completely left field. And I'm like, they just have this creativity that needs to come out now. That's it's great.
Well,
anyway,
Real Madrid needs some creativity, hey?
Sure. So this is an interesting one. So the La Liga Giants have parted ways with their manager, Xabi Alonso, right? Which is bizarre. They've replaced him with Alvaro Arbeloa. And it's weird because Real Madrid are second on the table. We're halfway through the season and they're only 4 points behind Barca. So you kind of go like, why?
Hey.
Why?
And the answer to that is?
But then there's a club in England that's looking for a manager. And that club has a little devil as its emblem. And now people are linking Xabi Alonso to Manchester United. But just overnight, before this news broke, they were saying Michael Carrick was going to be the former Man United player, was going to be he's the lead candidate to take over for Man United for the rest of the season. But I'm sure it's changed.
Gosh, breakneck speed. Okay.
FA Cup action last night. Liverpool beating Barnsley 4-1. The Reds goals from Szoboszlai, Frimpong, Wirtz and Ekiteke. Barnsley's goal came after Szoboszlai was playing around in front of goals. Liverpool will play Brighton in the 4th round. Arsenal will host Wigan. Manchester City plays the winner of the game between Salford and Swindon. Manchester City are in Carabao Cup action tonight. They've travelled to Newcastle for the first leg of their first semi-final. In cricket, Pretoria Capitals, top of the SA20 table. They beat My Cape Town by 53 runs. Player of the match, Rutherford, with 53 from 27. Capitals posted 185 for 6. Cape Town's batsmen failed to make more than 20 runs. Only Reza Hendricks was unbeaten on 68. Gideon Peters took 3 wickets. Here's Hendricks.
It's never been a thing in our camp as to bat first or bowl first, and how we've lost the games. But yeah, it's obviously a concern if we're coming short on the chasing side of things. Yes, obviously we have 2 games left, so something to look at. Yeah, still a lot to play for in these 2 games, so hopefully we can put it together.
Tonight, Paul Royals take on Durban Super Giants. In women's cricket, Australia's captain Alyssa Healy will retire from all forms of the game. She has two World Cups to her name. And South Africans dominating stage 8 of the Dakar, taking 1st and 2nd. Variawa coming in 3 seconds ahead of Latagang and Cummins. That result sees Latagang and Cummins move up to 3rd overall, just 6 minutes behind overall leader Al Attiyah. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is Shonda Rimes. Let's go to Nkuli in Edenvale. Nkuli, what's the question?
Good morning. The question is, what is the name of the TV producer, writer, and author who celebrates her birthday today and is known for creating shows like Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and Bridgerton?
Which one is your favorite?
Scandal.
Scandal. Papa Pope is my guy. Papa Pope is my guy. Nkuli, congratulations. 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. And a happy birthday to Shonda Rimes.
Tired of paying more than you need to for your car insurance? Jason, a 45-year-old Outsurance client, is saving big on his 2025 Hyundai i10.
That's true. Outsurance, they saved me an incredible 520 Rand.
And if you're claim-free for 3 years, you get an out bonus.
More and more and more out.
How much could Outsurance save you on your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142.
Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand.
That's right. 27-year-old Liam saves an unbelievable 640 Rand a month on his 2020 Ford Ranger. Enjoy benefits like panic assistance, which sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote now and see how much Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
As things stand now, is the Venezuelan government taking instructions from the U.S.? I mean, I know the U.S. still wants to send an executive of sorts that's going to help run Venezuela.
It's very clear that at least what pertains to oil, they have been complying with everything that the U.S. has been requesting.
Raul Stock, he's the director of Caracas Chronicles.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
LLB graduates can fast-track their legal career with the Law Society of South Africa's PVT School for Legal Practice. LPC accredited, this 4-month practice-ready course, which is taught by practicing lawyers, can reduce your PVT contract by 12 months for admission. Study by day, after hours, or via distance at campuses nationwide. The first 2026 intake runs from January to April. Applications close 31 October 2025. Apply now at lssalead.org.za. That's lssalead.org.za.
Sana, he said that till slip is like the N1 highway. It's long. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I got it. It's why I got the new discount battery rewards card that gets me 10% off instantly on over 140 brands. And then, does he not tell me over 140 brands means thousands of products? Exactly. That's why your discount till slip never looked better. Inshallah, son.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. The delays in Edenvale, have those been sorted out?
I'm afraid not. They're still pretty bad at this stage. That's in the Illiondale, Edenvale area. So allow for extra traveling time if you're leaving that area, heading towards Greenstone. That's on Modderfontein Road between Zierfontein Road and Laurie. Otherwise, the rest of 702 land looking pretty good. No accidents have been reported. Highways are free flowing. Just look out for those faulty traffic lights in Sandton at Grayston and the M1. Traffic lights also not working in Douglasdale at Douglas Drive and Leslie. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Now, the Outsurance Pointsman can't help you get your January budget back on track, but they can ease the traffic congestion so you get to the office on time and to make more money. With the Outsurance Pointsman on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get where we need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hello, Bongani. Yo, the sponsors of the quiz that child participated in that long time ago must come to the party now. They must come to the party and claim her and help her go through university.
Good morning, Bongani and team. I just want to say congratulations to the class of 2025, but an extra special congratulations and shout outs to the principal and the staff at Willow Crescent Secondary School in Eldorado Park Extension 3, because I know running a school in an infamous area like Eldorado Park isn't easy, but being the top school in the area, like for another year, I'm sure makes it all worth it. Thank you. Bye.
Hi there, Bongani team. I'd like to disagree with that Jen from Umalusi, because if we don't have people with integrity and honest people in society, then we're always going to have this issue, because what's the use of setting up measures to curb a USB drive, but we can take photos from our screens, etc. So I think we need honest people in general. I don't know where we're going to get them though.
Morning, Bongani and team. Well done to the class of 2025, and we wish them all the very, very best in what they want to do. Bongani, I am just very concerned about the very high rate of unemployment for the youth, and where to from here. I know it's a question that, I'm not sure if anyone could have an answer for me. Why was it that 40 years ago, before the dawn of our democracy, was there always enough jobs to go around? What was happening then as opposed to what is happening now? Thank you. Bye.
Morning 702, and congratulations to all the kids who've done so well. Really, really, you put the work in. Well done. I have a small question. My missus is a school teacher, and they are told to push kids through. She's a junior school teacher, so if they fail by 3 or 4%, they have to go back, remark, find other marks just to get the guys through. Is that the situation in Matric, or has that all fallen away when it comes to high school? Are they just a question? And I mean, not to put a damper on things, really seriously, very well done. But are we pushing kids through, or is it a genuine reflection on the results?
Oh, number of questions being raised in those voice notes. Let's start with the 40 years ago, unemployment wasn't a problem. It's a very different economy, very different time, but I don't think anybody who was around 40 years ago will tell you it was hunky-dory and that everybody who wanted one could have a job. I think we've had challenges throughout our history around employment and the kinds of work that were available 40 years ago. So I'm not sure what data you would use to make that assertion. The problem, and it almost doesn't matter, even if it was the case that 40 years ago, we're here now. We need to find employment for the people who need it today, and that's the crisis we need to address. The getting kids through, that may perhaps apply at different schools, and I think the whole point of the 30% and 40% different combinations is exactly what the minister was addressing around that particular issue, that obviously not all the kids are going to make it for further academic study, but perhaps need some kind of certificate to get them to learn a trade as a basic entry point. I think that's how we get through to that one. We had an earlier voice note, I think, from Stephen Groothuis, my colleague who hosts The Money Show, no doubt going quite big on AGOA later this evening. But the point he was making about mathematics, which is part of the conversation I had with Dr. Rakometsi, the CEO of Umalusi, I think it's a little unfair. He also mentioned that the employee who is in question as far as the breach is concerned, the breach of the Matric exam, was in the department for a number of years before this thing. I think 17 years is the amount of time they've been employed in the department before something like this happened. I don't think you can point the finger and say that anybody could have anticipated it. It did happen. Do we need better safeguards to make sure it never does? Absolutely. But I suspect that's an ongoing conversation. Keep them coming, those voice notes, those tributes, those shout outs to the class of 2025.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile Sambo, doesn't it bring back memories? I remember I was at the end of my matric year. I was a TV presenter on some little show on SABC, and I remember getting on the bus going to Auckland Park with the Star newspaper and going through to check, you know.
And I think back then they used to display your name, your full name.
Yeah. And then you'd go look for all the kids in all the schools. And really the thing we were looking for wasn't even pass. We were looking for the number of distinctions because that was what the competition was about. Brings back those memories.
It definitely did with me as well. But I slept knowing very well that I was going to be on that newspaper. So I didn't even bother waking up. I was like, you know what? Anyway, Bongani, messages of congratulations are still coming in, and they're coming in very hard for the class of 2025. But many 702 lenders are still not happy with the 30% pass rate. This even after the education minister said that it's seen as acceptable. One listener, Wessel, is asking how our pass rate compares to the other countries and if there's plans to change it in the future.
I think one of the things people need to remember is, let's go back to the old system when we had, what was it, standard grade, higher grade. There was even something called lower grade. And if you look at how those combinations worked out, what we currently have is actually a bit of a higher standard, because in the old days, you could pass all your subjects even on the lower grade and still walk out with a matric certificate. So I think people's memories, and I think it's that fixation with 30% that seems to get people off the rails and off track as far as that is concerned. Perhaps it'll be worth playing one or two of those explanatory clips from the minister yesterday so that we put this issue to rest. But for the rest of us, we're still saying halala to the class of 2025.
This is EWN.
An anxious wait for matriculants this morning.
Because the school told us to come at 7:30 to fetch our results, and it's already 7:30, and then they told us that they're not ready yet. So now,
And some schools overcome challenges to produce the best results. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. As matriculants wake up to learn of their performance in the final school year, some in the country's best performing districts say they remain anxious and uncertain as they wait to see their results. Johannesburg West is the country's top performing district with a pass rate of 96.2%. Pupils have started making their way to schools in the area this morning. Khomozo Modise is at the Ellen Glen High School, one of the best schools in the district. Khomozo, what are the pupils saying there?
Well, Steve, I don't know if you can hear the sounds of jubilation right here at the Adam Gilchrist High School. There's been a hooting of vehicles and ululating from parents and pupils. However, some of the pupils here will have to wait a little longer to find out how they did, as they've been told that their matric result statements are not yet ready. While some have greeted their former schoolmates with wide smiles and excitement, others have walked back from the school offices with their parents to their cars quietly. One such student, is Katlego Maduma. He says from the results that he's seen in the newspaper, he was hoping to do better.
The results are not helping, especially because the school told us to come at 7:30 to fetch our results, and it's already 7:30, and then they told us that they're not ready yet. So now the wait is just increased, just fueling that anxiety.
Spiso Maduma says he's hoping to study mechatronic engineering at Stellenbosch or UCT. Meanwhile, the festivities continue here at the Ellen Glen High School as pupils and parents make their way onto the premises. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News reporting live from Johannesburg.
Meanwhile, the Diepsloot Secondary School has defied odds and produced one of the province's top learners despite having little resources. Tandoluhle Ngobo has more from Diepsloot.
Standing here at Diepsloot Secondary School number 2, the first thing you notice isn't the smell of books or the sound of the bell ringing this morning. To look at these grounds is quite frankly heartbreaking. There are no manicured lawns or brick and mortar hallways here. Instead, the school is crammed with old, dilapidated mobile classrooms with broken doors and windows. The dust from the unpaved yard seems to coat everything. But despite a physical environment that seems designed for failure, this school has produced one of the province's top performing learners and has also achieved a 100% pass rate. The teachers who have arrived so far at the school are buzzing with excitement. Some of the learners have slowly started trickling into the school, heading straight for what seems to be a tool shed, and have started to clean the yard just before receiving their results. Thanduluhle Ngcobo, Eyewitness News in Deep Sleuth.
And in a break from tradition, the National Assembly will meet for its first sitting of the year today to pass the medium-term budget. Usually this is concluded before the House rises at the end of the calendar year. Owing to disagreements over the main budget in early 2025, the subsequent delays in getting it passed, it had the knock-on effects of pushing out the tabling of the adjustments budget to November. Lindsay Dentlinker takes a look.
Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana stunned the country when he tabled the medium-term budget policy statement in November and lowered the inflation target to 3%, a decision pundits only expected him to make when he tables the 2026 budget next month. Today, the National Assembly will be expected to give the thumbs up to adjustments made to the 2025 budget, including more money for the local government elections and an allocation for the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry investigating police corruption. The Division of Revenue Bill, which apportions additional funding to the provinces and municipalities, has already been passed by both houses. Parliamentary spokesperson Moloto Matapo.
Parliament is now finalizing the remaining legislation that allows government to respond to changing economic conditions and emerging priorities during the current financial year.
MPs will also be considering a special appropriations bill allocating 754 million rand to the health department to plug the gap left by the United States pulling the plug on HIV/AIDS support. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Gold is trading at $4,616.26 an ounce. The rand is at 16.39 to the dollar, 22.07 to the pound, 19.13 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.34 a barrel.
Edenville, traffic remains sluggish on Modderfontein Road between Zuurfontein Road and Laurie, and look out for those faulty traffic lights in Forest Town at Oxford and the M1.
And in your sport, Manchester United on high alert after Real Madrid parts ways with manager Xabi Alonso. Liverpool beat Barnsley 4-1 in the FA Cup. They'll play Brighton next. Pretoria Capital's third straight win sends them top of the SA20 cricket table. And at the Dakar, South Africans Latagag and Cummins now up to third overall.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 25 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. As matriculants wake up to learn of their performance in the final school year, some in the country's best performing districts say they remain anxious and uncertain as they wait to see their results.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast on this 13th of January 2026. If you've just joined us, we're celebrating the class of 2025, an unprecedented 88% pass rate. Well done. It's an opportunity for you if you've got a niece, a nephew, the child of a friend, whoever was in your life who wrote that matric exam, send us a shout out, and we want to just really highlight. It's just one of those feel-good stories, is it not? I think the issue that always clouds conversations at this time of the year is the rationale behind that 30% and 40% pass requirement. I want to play a clip again of the Basic Education Minister Sivue Kwahube explaining why it is in place in the first instance.
There are three different qualifications: a diploma, a bachelor's pass, a diploma pass, and an ordinary NSC certificate. Well, last year, 800,000 learners wrote NSC exams. Only less than 200 qualified with the minimum requirement, which is the NSC. So the bachelor's is the highest diploma, and then the NSC requirement. Now, what does the NSC say? It says that you can pass certain subjects with 40% and some with 30%. Why was this allowed to happen? It was allowed to happen because not every single learner in our schooling system is somebody that's going to go on and pursue a medical degree. Somebody said to me on Twitter this afternoon, why would you want a surgeon operating on you who got 30%? It's a myth, and we need to stop making this a populist discussion.
I think that explains it so succinctly, right? 200 out of 800,000. Mateo, you can do stats. and percentages. What did you get for maths?
I think less than 200 is fine. Eh?
Right? So fewer than 200 of 800. So that's close to 1 million. Only less than 200 got the minimum requirement. And that, of course, is to allow them to at least get out of the system and go learn a trade. These are not people who are going to become or who have any ambitions to become rocket scientists, right? So I think perhaps let's put that issue to bed. We're giving shout outs to these incredible learners. I want you to listen now to Muchidzi Ramova from Kweva Primary or Commercial School in Limpopo, the top achiever in accounting among quintile 1 to 3 schools, recognized for her outstanding performance. And she highlights the excellence and potential of learners from no-fee schools.
My name is Michizi Audrey Ramawa. I am from Toyondo in Limpopo. I come from Kweva Commercial School and I am the top achiever in accounting. I am very happy. I didn't expect this to happen, but then it is an amazing experience getting to see myself here. It was because of my determination. I was studying hard, but then I didn't really expect myself to be here, but then I am here by God's grace. And my motivation for the class of 2026 is that whatever goal you have, whatever dream you have, just persevere, be determined and study as hard as you can. You can achieve it. Whatever is required of you, do it. Morning studies, night studies, it's all what is required for the best of you. So do everything you can, even if it means deleting social media, do it, because determination, it's what gets you here. Remember your goal, remember who you're doing it for, and you're doing it for yourself.
Remember your goals, remember who you're doing it for, remember you're doing it for yourself. Of course, the rest of the world continues. In international news, we're keeping an eye on developments in the White House as the Venezuelan opposition leader, the current winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, Maria Corina Machado, is on her way to meet Donald Trump. This, of course, as the U.S. president keeps on making calls that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't remember anybody ever quite literally begging and pointing out who he thinks didn't deserve getting that prize. And Machado has previously implied that she might share hers with him, although I'm not quite sure how that works.
I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me, and I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled wars. Obama got the Nobel Prize. He had no idea why. He still has no idea. He walks around, he says, I got the Nobel Prize. Why did he get a Nobel Prize? He got it almost immediately upon attaining office, and he didn't do anything, and he was a bad president. So, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. These were major wars. These were wars that nobody thought could be stopped. President Putin called me and he said about 2 of the wars that he's been trying to stop them for 10 years. He wasn't able to do it. He couldn't believe it. So in theory, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped.
Yeah, perhaps the less said about Donald Trump, the better. At some point, right? At some point, you've just got to go, yeah, ne? It is what it is. Hey, Mateo, your thoughts?
On Trump. No, I think
perhaps less on Trump, but just the awkwardness of quite literally pleading for an honor.
No, it does. It just takes away the value of that particular honor to always say. Remember, just imagine if actors, for instance, say, "I did a really great movie. I deserve this particular Oscar,"
and that person doesn't.
And that person doesn't. Like their movie was a dud, they're not really great at what they do, and they're like, no, so-and-so got an Oscar a few years ago, I also think I deserve one. I don't think anyone else except me deserves this particular... That's why I said to you that it's quite difficult to negotiate with someone who makes comments like this, because how do you even at a state level, a national level, to say, no, we should have relations such and such, if somebody has a personality like this?
And is it closer we ask the question, Upadlil, which means, is he well cooked?
EWN, Traffic.
Maybe he's just rare, hey? He's not even medium. All clear as far as the roads are concerned. All those issues from earlier, Karabachali, all of that been sorted?
Yeah, it has been pretty quiet this morning. We only had that issue in the Ilondale, Edenville area where traffic is looking much better now at this time. So nothing to worry about if you are planning on leaving the house or hitting the road anytime soon. So things to just look out for is faulty traffic lights in Sandton, Grayston and the M1. There's also traffic lights out of order in Midrand at Olifantsfontein Road in the N1, as well as in Forest Town at Oxford and the M1. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
We're taking your calls on 011 883 0702. Your voice notes congratulating the class of 2025. We've got yet another achiever who is, of course, a top achiever from Kingsmead College. Zoe joins us now on the line. Zoe, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling very happy, very excited, quite relieved.
And this is the thing, so you're obviously not the first one I'm speaking to, Zoe Anderson, this morning. We've already spoken to a couple of other of your cohort from 2025. You all expressing surprise, relief, but my assumption would be you don't get to 10 distinctions like you have without having prepared for it. How are you relieved?
Well, I think just because it's been so long since we actually wrote the exams, I can't exactly remember how they went. So I wasn't exactly sure what to expect because I'd completely forgotten the exams.
And you just moved on with your life and, carried on as one must. What was the toughest subject for you?
I think the chemistry exam was definitely the toughest in my opinion.
What made it so tough?
I don't know, just the questions. They were quite difficult. I think they require quite a deep understanding of chemistry, which is not something you can always study. It's not as easy to just study and repeat it back. You have to have an understanding and then apply across different topics. You have to be able to combine them, which I think can be quite challenging.
So were you aiming for 10 distinctions, Zoe?
That was the goal, yes.
And what does it feel for you to have achieved it? And what does it take to get 10 distinctions? I mean, I only got 2, I think, in my Matric year. I have no sense of what it would take to get 10.
Well, it takes a lot of work, I think it's something that builds up over the years. You learn what works best for some subjects. And yeah, I think it takes a lot of consistent effort over your whole school career to gain an understanding of the content and the subjects, and just a lot of hard work and time management.
And what comes next for you now, Zoe?
I'm hoping to study actuarial science in Stellenbosch.
Well, good luck to you. We wish you everything of the best. And thank you for being such an inspiration, hey?
Thank you so much.
Zoe Anderson is a top achiever from Kingsmead College. Let's go now to Rowan on the line. Rowan got 10 distinctions and joins us now from, or at least on Zoom. Rowan, congratulations. How are you feeling this morning?
Thank you, Bongani. I'm feeling super chuffed. Yeah.
Super chuffed. Tell us a little bit more. What you got 9 distinctions, did you?
9 distinctions, yes. Very relieved. I was very hopeful, but it's nice to have got it now.
We were just speaking to Zoe from Kingsmead, who says part of the reason she's feeling relieved was that it feels like it was just so long ago since you guys wrote this to obviously now be getting the results. I understand we're talking to you from Austria. What are you doing? What on earth are you doing there?
I'm skiing with my dad, actually. I'm very, very fortunate. I'm having a great time.
Well, we're not jealous at all. We're enjoying a hot summer here in Johannesburg. So what comes next?
Freezing.
Yeah, I can only imagine. What comes next for you after 12 years and the particular focus of that final year, working hard, focusing? What comes next?
Well, after all those years of studying, I suppose I'll be studying more. I'm hopeful to go to UCT next year to study applied math.
What support do teachers and family and community play in terms of helping you get over the line in the way that you have?
It's everything around school. It's the knowledge that, you can talk to someone, that you can fall back on someone, and that it's not the end of the world if you do happen to not achieve everything you wanted to. I think that's the biggest thing.
Is it all about hard work, or would you say you just have a natural aptitude to be able to achieve at this level?
I will go so far as to say that I do not well naturally, but it does take hard work and also interest. You need to be interested in what you're doing. It doesn't just take hard work and studying.
Listen, let's not keep you from your skiing. Congratulations, Rowan Curtis, the top achiever from Red Hill School. We're absolutely proud of you. You deserve your skiing holiday because that's exactly what you've done. Enjoy those slopes, eh?
Thank you so much, Bongani. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Rowan Curtis talking to us from Austria, where he is skiing. Of course, we've spoken to a number of learners who've been part of the IEB stream. This is the one followed by many of the private schools. And we're joined now by Confidence Dikgole, who is the CEO of the IEB, on the line. A very good morning to you. And as always, of course, thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and to your listeners. Thank you for having me.
The IEB, of course, is seen in many respects as the gold standard of basic education, getting that kind of qualification, those Matric results. You must be pretty pleased with what has been achieved this year.
Absolutely, we are, Bongani. And as I keep saying, that if you frame performance that has been attained this year, alongside the growth, the significant growth that we are seeing as the IEB, you begin to see that indeed standards are being maintained. I mean, if you consider the fact that we've seen growth of about 15% over the last 2 years in terms of the cohort of numbers, it really shows that standards are being maintained at the IEB, and this is really what is pleasing.
As you say, this year's cohort marked growth in terms of learner numbers, participation from more schools. This kind of expansion can only portend great things.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think it speaks to the approach at the IEB, where we are being as inclusive as we can, and where we really are expanding access to many schools in South Africa that may want to offer the IEB exam. And really, the fact that so many schools are taking up the IEB exams, it only speaks of the confidence and trust that they have in the IEB system. And these exams continue year in and year out to reflect that confidence and trust that schools have in the IEB exam.
There's been a conversation previously, and I think most notably raised by the Gauteng Premier, around why we have, shall we call it, elite schools who follow a different syllabus. And he's long argued that perhaps we should have the same exam, the same syllabus, the same standard written across, whether it is well-resourced or under-resourced schools, to even the playing field. Where are we on that discussion?
That discussion, it normally comes up during this time of the year when results are released. But under the normal course of things, that discussion sort of dies down. But within the circles of the Department of Basic Education, there is a discussion around coming up with an independent examinations board, but for the public schooling system, not one that's going to accommodate both the public and the independent. And I mean, this is practiced the world over, where you try and remove the aspect of assessment from provisioning. Currently, provisioning is linked to assessment when you're looking at the public system. But what they are wanting to do is kind of do a separation here, make sure that the Department of Basic Education focuses on a provisioning, curriculum and delivery of curriculum. And then the Independent Examinations Board will do assessments only for public schools. And of course, there will be independent schools that may want to offer those exams. Like currently, we know there are independent schools that offer the DBE exam, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so that is the trajectory at the Department of Basic Education right now. And I think that's the really right step in the right direction if they were to do that.
How well does the IEB exam or assessment, perhaps better way to put it, compare internationally?
It compares very well, and I think I'm going to answer this question probably in a little bit of a long-winded way, Bongani. And I want to start by saying that as the IEB, our tagline is that assessment matters. But really, it's not the only thing that matters, though. So what really distinguishes the IEB and what that enables us to compare internationally is that the exam itself is not the differentiator, but the differentiator is actually what happens in the classroom every day. And our focus really at our schools is deliberately on developing learners who can think critically, who can reason independently, who can communicate clearly and solve unfamiliar problems and apply knowledge rather than simply reproducing it. And I think this is what you see internationally when you look at the caliber of learners that come out of those systems. So our exams are designed to assess those skills and to stretch learners, but those skills are developed long before learners reach the exam room. And that prepares them not only to perform in their assessment, but to succeed in higher education and also to be able to navigate the world of work with confidence, with adaptability and sound judgment. And that is really what really makes us comparable to international practices.
All right, appreciate your time. Confidence Dikgole there, the CEO of the Independent Examination Board.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world now. Good morning, Adam. Goodness me, how long have you and I been discussing the Russia-Ukraine war, and it's now past another milestone?
Yeah, we've now gone through 1,419 days of war, and the reason that is significant is, and it would have been lost on me if I hadn't seen it, is that this is now a longer war than the war that the Soviet Union fought against Nazi Germany. This absolutely enshrines in the Russian mind, and indeed in Ukrainian minds, that now this is going into 1,420 days and no sign of an end. Every now and again, people seem to talk the talk and big up the idea of a ceasefire and French, German, UK troops going in when there's a ceasefire, but there isn't yet. And it doesn't feel like we're that close to it, given the stated aims of Vladimir Putin and the resilience of Volodymyr Zelensky and co. We've also seen now a slight spiraling of the war. This seems to happen a little bit week on week. So, for instance, Norway has just pledged an enormous amount of money to help support Ukraine. The UK has just pledged sending longer range ballistic missiles that could strike deep into Russia, potentially, the Nightfall missile. And we've also seen 2 foreign flagged ships hit in the Black Sea by Russian missiles and drones. Because these 2 ships were flagged through St. Kitts and Nevis and the Comoros Islands, therefore there's no great collateral damage because they're not huge players in the world geopolitics. But imagine that those ships had been French or Turkish or American or whatever. It would have been a very different kind of story we'd be talking about.
Yeah, and the thing about protracted wars is they become complicated over time, do they not, Adam? Let's go to your part of the world now. London's murder rate success. There are lessons for us in this.
There could be, potentially, I suppose. I mean, we all have to sort of draw on each other's experiences, although cities are different, of course. But nonetheless, the rate of murder in London has now gone down to a low for a decade, and arguably even lower than that because of how you compile these statistics. So from the police themselves and from the National Health Service, who look at, hospital admissions and so forth, there were 97 killings in London last year. Now, that's obviously not great for the 97 who were murdered, and indeed their families. But that is overall a 36% drop on the murder rate in 5 to 6 years. Across the UK as a whole, there's been a fall of 27% over 5 years. And so the rate, they often do this, the homicide rate per capita in London is now 1.1 per 100,000. As a way of definition, in Paris, it's 1.6. In New York, it's 2.8. In Johannesburg, it's 44. In Cape Town, 68. We're not going anywhere near Mexico and Brazil and Ecuador, but you get the idea that the murder rate is, you could still have your mobile phone snatched, you could still be mugged in the street, you could still have your home burgled. But overall, they think this is down to precise police action against gangs, organized crime, and predatory men. And the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, the much maligned Sadiq Khan, reckons it's down to some of their campaign efforts to persuade young people not to go into gangs, to provide them with alternatives and to look at other kinds of education, say, don't go to gangs. There are other things you can do. They are trumpeting those. Now, you have to be a bit careful with this because these stats are volatile, but nonetheless, at this stage, it's a success story.
What's the longest you've been stranded at an airport, Adam?
I confess, only about 24 hours. Can you beat 24 hours?
That's long enough, thank you. Talk to me about the story from Finland.
Plenty. Well, it's plenty long enough when you think that usually there's a complete lack of information, and then they close all the cafes at night, and so and there's nowhere to sleep unless you go and fork out for a hotel. So there are thousands of tourists now stranded in northern Finland because it's got cold. Now, this time of the year in Finland, and northern Finland especially as we go into the Arctic Circle, you would expect minus 10, 12, 14. There have even been lows into the minus 20s, but they've just hit minus 35 degrees Celsius, which is too cold, even for a country like Finland that has got all sorts of sprays for aeroplanes and de-icing aeroplanes before they take off from Rovaniemi, for instance. I myself have flown into Rovaniemi, and I remember them spraying the aeroplane before we went, and then when we left again, spraying the aeroplane, so that it's literally an antifreeze to stop everything freezing up. But minus 35, they can't handle it. So now there are thousands of people who ought to have flown off from their New Year's breaks back to London, Paris, Amsterdam, who have nowhere to go. They're also being told, by the way, don't go outside because minus 35 is crazy cold. But also, I believe last night, it may have gone down to minus 39. I haven't had that confirmed yet. How do we cope with minus 39? You're welcome, by the way. It's like an air conditioning, just to consider that, isn't it?
I'll see the Northern Lights on my TV. Thank you very much. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
This is going to be a big story on The Money Show, no doubt, a little later on with Stephen Grootes, Mateo Kharipe. But AGOA passing through. Is South Africa included?
Not as yet, Bongani. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill that would renew Washington's preferential trade program for some African countries through to 2028. The House approved the extension of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, first enacted in 2000 to provide duty-free access to the U.S. market for eligible sub-Saharan African countries and products. Now, Republicans and Democrats voted in favor of the bill with the vote of 340 yeas and 54 nays. Now, the bill will next go to the Senate and will need to be passed then by President Donald Trump into law. But with the strained relations between the US and South Africa, it's unlikely South Africa will be included in the duty-free access contract that will run until 2028.
Gosh, where are your indicators?
Well, at this hour, the rand at 16 rand 40 against the US dollar, slightly lower this morning, 19 rand 13 cents against the euro, and at 22 rand 9 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,588 an ounce, or platinum at $2,317. Brent crude at $64.19 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grootes with more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, over to you.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Matriculants are celebrating the country's 88% historic pass rate as they get their results this morning. Diepsloot Secondary School number 2 has joined in the celebrations for obtaining a 100% pass rate. Staff members and matriculants as well as parents have made their way to the school this morning. Tandoluhle Ngobo is there and joins us now live. Tandoluhle, the school has overcome some challenges.
That's right, Fiso. In fact, one of the matriculants from the school achieved third position in the top performing quintile 2 schools in the country.
See, so every time a member of the staff drives through the gates of the school, it's followed with loud sounds of the horn blaring and music blasting, as you can probably hear. Quite a number of the learners have also made their way into the school now, and they are being assembled, and you can see others slowly making their way up the small hill into the premises. Tandon Chengobo, Eyewitness News, reporting live from District Secondary School number 2.
On the East Rand, one of the top Matric achievers at the Sunward Park High School says he considered the pressure of Matric as a privilege, motivating him to obtain 8 distinctions. The high-performing school has obtained a 98.4% Matric pass rate through the leadership of the principal. The principal says leading the school with discipline and dedication has contributed to its success. We cross now live to Jabulile Mbata on the East Rand. Jabulile matriculants are reaping the awards of their hard work.
That's right, Siso. And one of them is Junior Sikasa, who managed to get all distinctions in 8 of his subjects. These include English Home Language, isiZulu First Additional, Mathematics, Life Orientation, Economics, Life Sciences, Physical Sciences, and Religion. He says he is happy the school extended daily classes till 3 p.m. and included an additional day of extra classes on Saturdays. This is while his family freed him from house chores, saving him time to study.
You can say that the teachers, especially at the school, had a very, very strong support system. You know, we had very amazing teachers who kept on motivating us and supporting us, ensuring that we stay on track as well as stay disciplined by all time.
He adds that the school never lacked any resources, which helped him focus on his studies. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, reporting live from Sunward Park High.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Siviwe Gwachube says 7 of 9 provinces have been flagged as financially unsuitable or unsustainable in the first provincial education budget review since 1994. She says provinces are now required to develop financial recovery plans as well as crack down on ghost teachers and pupils. Gwachube says the reforms currently underway in her department will deliver tangible benefits in classrooms.
For teachers, this is what it means in practice. Clearer guidance in early grades, better materials in getting to classrooms, less duplicating reporting, and stronger support to protect learning time, especially the foundation phase.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 25 and 26.
Well, at this stage, things looking good on our roads. No accidents have been reported on our highways. Just look out for those faulty traffic lights, though, in Sandton, Grayston, M1. And there's also faulty traffic lights in Marlborough at Marlborough Drive and the M1 South.
The top story this hour, matriculants are celebrating the country's 88% historic pass rate as they get their results this morning.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
The TRC Commission into TRC crimes that's been underway, there's been a call for Justice Sisi Khampepe to recuse herself from that. The former presidents, Jacob Zuma and Thabo Mbeki, are both asking for the recusal of Sisi Khampepe.
Former President Jacob Zuma takes it a step further, and he believes that there's a personal vendetta against him because Justice Sisi Khampepe penned that judgment against him that resulted in his arrest. They go as far as saying that she's got blood on her hands.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Mzansi, 156 million rand. This Tuesday, Powerball has exploded to a breathtaking 156 million rand jackpot. It's one of the biggest jackpots ever. Don't delay. Play Powerball today and you could win a jackpot to remember. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Outsurance business insurance, the cost was far less. I even have better benefits.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you get 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance for guest houses, catering companies, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. Apply.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect,
and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Just give the leader of Rise Muzanzi a bell. He deserves it. This is the kind of leaders we want in this country, not leaders who turn a blind eye on serious issues.
702
Elon Musk is a threat to this country. Good morning, Bongani, and many of you don't see it.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on there. I think some gremlins in the system. You may remember we spoke a little earlier to Songa Zozibi, who is the leader of Rise Mzansi, who is warning against opening the door for Elon Musk's Starlink. Musk, of course, has had his internet service approved in over 110 jurisdictions around the world, and has made no bones about trying to be allowed to operate here in South Africa, but says, to quote him, anti-white laws are stopping him from doing so. Songa Zozibi, the leader of Rise Mzansi, arguing that, in fact, it would not only be stupid, but a threat to our constitutional order to allow him to do so, because this is somebody who has actively sown disinformation about South Africa. And, of course, as we wait to hear the details, for example, of AGOA and whether or not will be included in that conversation, it all applies. So that's, I think, a voice note in response to that conversation a little earlier on.
EWN Sport.
All right, let's get straight into the world of sports. Cindy Paluta, lots of speculation now around who becomes the next manager at Old Trafford.
Well, Bongani, you would be really silly if you were looking for a top manager worldwide and suddenly Real Madrid's one becomes available. Wouldn't you be falling over yourself, or at least interested? So that's what the speculation and the British media is all rallying around this morning. Oh, will they, won't they? Because Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid have parted ways.
But that also, on its own, I mean, forget the Manchester United angle, on its own, as you were saying just an hour ago, it's not as if Real are languishing at the bottom of La Liga.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy. It comes 24 hours after they lost the Spanish Super Cup to Barcelona. They're 4 points behind Barcelona in the league, and they're 7th in the Champions League. Hey, I don't know. Maybe they just need something different. Michael Carrick is the favourite to take over at Manchester United. They say that the announcement will probably come tomorrow when all the players are back from AFCON injuries, etc. FA Cup action last night. Liverpool beat Barnsley 4-1 to go through to the 4th round. They'll play Brighton next. The draw was done last night. Arsenal got Wigan. Chelsea against Hull. Aston Villa got Newcastle. Manchester City plays the winner of the game between Salford and Swindon. City are in action tonight in Carabao Cup action. They travel to Newcastle for the first leg of that first semi-final. In SA20 cricket later, Paul Royals are taking on Durban Super Giants. Both sides desperate to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Last night, the Pretoria Capitals got a 3rd straight win in a row to top the table after beating My Cape Town by 53 runs. Player of the match, Rutherford, with 53 from 27. In women's cricket, Australia's captain Alyssa Healy will retire from all forms of the game. She has 2 World Cups to her name.
Timing's right. I think, I spoke a little bit about yesterday about feeling like I lost a little bit of my competitive edge. I think that comes from probably up top. Been doing it a long period of time. I've loved every minute of it, but I felt like every contest I wanted to be a part of and I wanted to compete, and it's probably drained me a little bit more over the years, and I've noticed that.
South Africans dominating stage 8 of the Dakar Rally. They took 1st and 2nd place yesterday. Variawa coming in 3 seconds ahead of Latsagang and Cummins. The result means Latsagang and Cummins are now up to 3rd, just 6 minutes behind the leaders. And in golf, Brooks Koepka, who recently left Live Golf with 1 year still left on that contract, has an announced he'll return to the PGA under its new returning member program. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 minutes before 9 o'clock. It's not quite yet the first day of school, so things are looking reasonably okay in traffic this morning, Karabo.
Yeah, no, things have been looking pretty good throughout the morning. Those delays in the Illiondale area, and now it's free-flowing through Modderfontein Road. Otherwise, look out for those faulty traffic lights in Douglasdale at Leslie and Douglas Drive. Edenville, Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeck traffic lights still not working there, as well as in Forest Town at Oxford Road and the M1. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring APSA. The CEO, Kenny Fihla, will be in conversation with us, and we do this on Wednesdays to highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk. And together, make a difference.
Why is there a horse in your driveway?
You ride savvy. Why drive a Mustang when you can ride one?
What the missus say?
Well, she had a bit of a long face, but now she's stable.
If you need a backup plan, We Buy Cars can sort you out.
Nah, savvy. This thing is eco-chic.
Stop horsing around, cowboy. Rather get one of these from We Buy Cars.
What's the horsepower on that thing?
More than one, Dorf. More than one.
Don't be Dorf, be savvy. We Buy Cars, geared for adventure, geared for you.
Let's hear from Dr. Armand, owner of Monument Dental, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
It was one call and I was covered immediately. We are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
And coming up between 9 and 12 is the Clement Manyatela Show. It's amazing how quickly the time passes. How long has the Clement Manyatela Show been around?
Oh my goodness. So in June this year is going to be the 6th year.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
No, it feels like it was just the other day.
Yeah, it does. But wow, hey? Like 6 years. How long have you been doing this?
So I'm starting my 9th year.
What?
This is
on one show?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
My 9th year. Oh no, that's nothing. I think John Robbie holds the record.
How many?
He did it for 17 seasons.
What?
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned it that way because that's actually what it is. Like you are on your 9th season.
And can I tell you, on Sunday, and the team will tell you.
Yeah.
In fact, last week already, I was starting conversations about the kind of guests I wanted
for the
on the show, for the year broadly, but even for this week, because I had this anxiety. Can I still do it? Will I still be able to? Will the English even come out?
Yeah.
Because it's not my home language.
Can I tell you a secret
so
though?
there's that anxiety of, can I still do this? Will I remember? Will I say the right thing?
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
You still can. Yes, I can. Bongani can.
So for all that time, you think 9 years, one show.
Yeah.
But I still have the anxiety around.
Yeah.
Am I still reading the room? Am I still getting the temperature right?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because
well, you are.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the 10-year anniversary. One thing though that I hope you also appreciate is that for you to do a show for that long means you're doing something right.
Hopefully.
No, it is. That's what it actually means. Aww. That's why you've got an award to show it.
We like the Clement without the beard.
He's a lot nicer.
More often, yeah.
Coming up on the show, we're going to start with the 702 open line. We're going to reflect on the successes of the class of 2025. I do want to ask the listeners to give them some advice. What advice would you give the class of 2025, whether they've passed or failed? Because I think, Bongani, my experience was when you finish Matric, that is when you become responsible for yourself. If you're going to think your parents are going to come and force you to study at university or force you to do 1, 2, 3, you are wrong.
Yeah.
You are on your own. So what advice do you give them? We're going to talk a bit about what happened in the House of Representatives regarding AGOA. That bill still needs to go to the Senate, which is where it's likely to face some tough challenges. But nonetheless, it is still a success. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to speak to Siviwe Kwahube, the Minister of Basic Education, about the successes, what are the improvements, what are the failures, and of course, the issue of that dropout rate, that's still a big concern.
Yeah.
So how are we dealing with that? At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. We're discussing career goals, the importance of setting goals in your career. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. Today, we're focusing on detoxing, when and how to do it, because a lot of people are detoxing now because they've had a really hectic festive season, huh?
And a lot of things that people think are detoxing
are not
always
detoxing.
detoxing.
Yeah.
Causing themselves more
Are
problems.
we going to see you more at the gym this year, like in the pictures on Instagram?
I see the beard is growing back. The beard is slowly growing back. Clement Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani, your guest, is he not on X? I just found his argument staggering, actually. If Elon Musk wanted to change things dramatically in this country, I think he could do it through X. I think that Starlink would be a wonderful asset for us.
Bongani and team, compliments of the season with regards to the discussion about Starlink in Africa and more specifically South Africa and the disinterest by political parties for cheap and very accessible internet services to be available. I believe and I maintain that it's because the ruling parties and the subsidiary parties who are riddled with malfeasance do not want their voter base to be educated about their activities.
That's an interesting perspective that comes from my earlier conversation with Songa Zozibi, the leader of Rise Mzansi, who's warning about what he says would be our risks in allowing Elon Musk's Starlink to be allowed to operate in South Africa. No doubt an ongoing conversation.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Can you hear it? The ripple of guitar strings.
It's another tequila sunrise, staring slowly across the sky. I said goodbye.
Does it remind you of perhaps an open road, perhaps it's sunset, maybe even a drop top? The promise of a lovely place with voices that defined a generation. The Eagles are certainly one of the greatest rock bands to ever do it, and their monster hit Hotel California underpins exactly why they remain legendary. And this January, Hotel California, the Eagles experience, lands on stage at the Joburg Theatre. And it's a live tribute concert that's going to bring the timeless catalogue of the Eagles back to life in full harmony. Rock country glory. So from Hotel California to Take It Easy to Desperado to Life in the Fast Lane. It's going to be an immersive experience celebrating the songs that became the soundtrack to so many lives and indeed so many memories. Jimmy James is with us in studio, has come all the way from Australia to be with us, and you're going to be playing Glenn Fry.
That's correct, yeah.
Welcome to 702 Breakfast, and thank you so much for popping in.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And it was you, of course, who was strumming there in the background. Jimmy's here to talk to us about bringing these songs, these classic songs of this incredible, legendary rock band to life. Talk about pressure, hey?
Oh, well, bring it on as far as I can say. Like, this is the first time we've been back here in South Africa in around about 15 years. So we're glad to be bringing the show back to the Joburg Theatre. It's been a long time.
Playing Glenn Frey in this tribute show, what does that mean for you?
Well, the Eagles have been part of my musical background in life for a very long time. And so I've always been playing their music all around the world. We've taken this show all around the world, in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, just to name a few. And you've said it yourself. There's not much else that you've said that I can add. You know, the music is timeless.
It speaks for itself,
it
right?
Speaks for itself and sings for itself as well.
I mean, I think the Eagles' greatest hits remains one of the best-selling albums of all time. Certainly, probably the best-selling compilation I can think of.
It was the first CD they had ever bought as part of an Eagles compilation or just Eagles CD. There back in the day when we had CDs and that was popular. And I used to listen to that CD religiously, and all the songs that we do in our show were on that CD.
So you've been touring around the world with this show?
Yeah, for the past 6 years.
Where have you been?
Like I said, Australia, New Zealand, and also Singapore. We've also done little stints here in Canada as well. But it's, that's the thing about Eagles music. It kind of is... It's
universal.
Universal, yeah. It works everywhere.
What do you think is the appeal to so many different audiences? I mean, I would imagine, an audience in Joburg and an audience in Sydney and Singapore and wherever you've been in Canada won't necessarily be the same, but this music brings them together.
I think it's always about the music because music is the universal language. And I think the secret behind Eagles music is also not only just their guitars and the country sound that they started out with, turning into rock, but it was those harmonies. And that's the thing that I think singing is always, everybody's got a voice and everybody loves to sing along to these songs. And the Eagles had tremendous harmonies. It was the reason why they're as big as what they are today.
They've obviously got this extensive catalog. When you put a show together like this, how do you begin to know? Hotel California obviously will be a song to choose, there's no doubt, but how do you pick some of the others?
Well, you just base it off their catalogue and how big the hits were back in the 70s. Like, they started out with, like, their first real big hit was Take It Easy, which they wrote with Jackson Browne, a very famous American composer as well. And you choose the hits that tend to have made a stamp throughout radio play, throughout, just general play, and also with the advanced performers that we have performing us. Like, we've performed Eagles music outside of the show as well. So we know what songs work.
So as seasoned musicians, how tricky is it to still bring some of yourself and your own musicianship and pay the appropriate homage to the Eagles, but also bringing something of your own musicianship to what you do?
I think it's just important to be able to just accept the fact that that's the music and we can play the music as it is. And I think all musicians that play Eagles music get a kick out of it anyway. So it's not really so much trying to bring ourselves into it. What really matters at the end of the day is how our audience participates and how they respond to it. And the songs speak for themselves.
You've already given us a little bit of a taste, perhaps a little more of what we can expect at this show.
Yeah, would you like another song?
Oh, yeah, please go for it. I'm all ears.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 to wanna owe me, 2 to wanna stole me, 1, she said, a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy.
Gotta ask you if... Firstly, round of applause.
Don't all clap at once, yeah.
If you could invite one member of the band, the Eagles, the original band, to watch this tribute performance, who would it be and what song would you want to play?
Ooh, gee, dead or alive? It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, well, he's still kicking. It have to be Joe Walsh. Yeah, Joe Walsh.
Why him?
Out of all of the performers in the Eagles, to me, he's the most charismatic. And I mean, it would be remiss if we didn't try and do something like Rocky Mountain Way, which is a Joe Walsh song by itself. But if we did that, like that, we'd just get a real big kick out of that. And that's one of the highlights of the show for us.
For fans who might be discovering the Eagles' music for the first time, who want to explore it perhaps for the first time, what would you hope they walk away
from this experience? Just knowing that the Eagles just had a vast array of music that spanned over the course of a decade. And, if it inspires them to pick up and play an instrument and sing a song, by all means, that's what this show will do, because that's what the show is about.
All right, it's happening at the Joburg Theatre on Friday, the 23rd of January. It's at 8 p.m. You can book your tickets through joburgtheatre.com. That's the first show. The second one will also be that weekend. So it's really Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th of January, happening at the Joburg Theatre. As I say, you can get tickets from joburgtheatre.com to be able to be a part of it. Jimmy James being part of this incredible Hotel California tribute show to the Eagles, and I've got to ask you before you leave to play just a teensy-weensy little bit of Hotel California.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, one smell of bolitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up the candle and she showed me the way. There were voices in the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place.
Oh man, Jimmy James, we're in for a treat. Happening on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of January at the Joburg Theatre. Relive the classics. Hotel California tribute show coming to the Joburg Theatre. Jimmy James, appreciate your time playing for us and coming in all the way into the studio. Good luck. I hope Joburg will come out in their droves,
I'm sure
their
they
numbers.
will. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And thank you for that little taste.
Just a little taste, yeah. We love it. Come to the Joburg Theatre. We're looking forward to bringing the show back.
All right. Thank you very much for popping in. And that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It is 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Thousands of matriculants are celebrating the end of their school years with a record-breaking 88% pass rate. More than 900,000 candidates were registered for the National Senior Certificate exams. Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwagube announced the results last night. Joburg West is the country's top-performing district with a pass rate of